This young man couldn't even awaken his beast-taming talent, yet he's somehow running a beast pet shop. Every day, Luke Vu has to deal with all sorts of customers, many of whom look down on his judgment. 3 million? Are you running a rip-off shop? You guys really are a bunch of scammers, aren't you? A slime is worth 3,000 at most. Do you even know anything about beast taming? The new customer pointed at the slime on the table and yelled, "This isn't just some ordinary slime. 3 million is absolutely worth every single penny." "I guarantee you'll be satisfied," Luke Vu replied. "It's only at the awakening level right now. For that same amount of money, I could buy a beast with star-level potential." She wasn't wrong, but Luke Vu countered, "My creature is much more powerful than any of those star-level beasts. This slime is a mutant beast with the Devour talent. As long as it has enough resources, it can break through its limits continuously. Forget star level. Even reaching sovereign level is no problem at all." While his explanation sounded tempting, the girl was getting annoyed, feeling that Luke Vu wasn't trustworthy in the slightest. He didn't even bother trying to convince her further, just giving a casual shrug. "Just try it out and you'll see," he replied. Their conversation was interrupted by a third person entering the shop. The sharp click of high heels hitting the tile floor made both of them turn around. "So, the young master of the Luke family has started scamming people now, has he? Oh, excuse me, I forgot you'd already been kicked out of the Luke family." Seeing this woman, Luke Vu's expression soured. "Bok Duyet Phi, what are you doing here?" "I just came to check on my ex-boyfriend, who doesn't even have a single shred of beast-taming talent." Duyet Phi shrugged. The customer listening to this turned pale. A guy who couldn't even awaken a talent was running a beast shop? What kind of logic is that? Does this have anything to do with me selling my pets? Seeming to notice the customer's skeptical gaze, Luke Vu asked immediately. Before she could answer, Duyet Phi spoke up again, her words even more insufferable than before. "Luke Vu, someone like you with no talent should have just stayed a normal person after I left you." Her mocking words were too much for the female customer, who couldn't help but feel indignant. She might have doubted Luke Vu's products, but she couldn't stand seeing him being bullied by his ex-girlfriend. "It's too much," she spoke up. "Wow, isn't this exactly like those villainous supporting characters in the movies? I didn't think people like that actually existed in real life. Some people just have a naturally bitter heart." "No need to mind her," Luke Vu responded calmly. Bok Duyet Phi scoffed, shooting a look of pure contempt toward him. "A scammer like you has the nerve to talk to me?" It seemed that the sudden surge of justice made the customer decide to prove for herself that Luke Vu wasn't a liar. She took out a high-quality silver-grade stone and handed it toward the slime. It quickly absorbed the energy, jumping straight from awakening level 5 to level 9, and it even learned a water-type skill. The girl was thrilled, while Duyet Phi looked stunned, her face darkening. "Impossible!" The customer shot her a glance, pouting to herself, thinking, "Thank goodness. I didn't believe those ridiculous rumors about his past. Otherwise, I would have really missed out on a steal." After saying that, she turned to Luke Vu and asked, "Boss, the upgrade just now was thanks to the food I provided myself, so you can't add that to the price of the slime, right?" "You're joking, right? 3 million is 3 million, card or cash?" The girl cheerfully handed Luke Vu a VIP card. Once the payment went through, the image of a beautiful girl appeared in his mind. "Congratulations to the host for successfully selling your first beast pet. Beast taming space has been opened. Received SSS grade talent, Dark Hell. Host has formed a contract with a dark-type beast. Attributes enhanced, potential increased by 1 level. You can use the soul link to accelerate the growth of dark-type beasts." After so many years, Luke Vu finally possessed a beast-taming talent. This feeling is actually not bad at all. Thinking back to that fateful day 25 years ago, Luke Vu was just a child adopted by Huanya Qi, the wife of the current Luke family head, Luke Tianfeng. But one day, she suddenly changed her tune. "If it weren't for your S-grade dragon-type talent core, do you think I would have adopted an orphan like you? Do you really think your parents died in an accident?" When she said those words, there wasn't a hint of regret on Nachi's face, only pure malice. She grabbed Luke Vu by the throat, preparing to extract his talent. Nachi's goal was to let her own biological son possess a double S talent to single-handedly revive the dragon-taming reputation of the Luke family. And just like that, Luke Vu was forcibly stripped of his S-grade talent. I was trampled underfoot by Nachi. Now that your talent core is gone, just rest easy and live the rest of your life as a loser. Even after 25 years, he still couldn't forget her smile and those vicious words. At first, Luke Vu thought he would just live out his life as a failure, keeping this small shop to scrape by day after day. He never expected that a few days ago, on his 18th birthday, he would accidentally awaken the mythical beast taming system. Selling the small pets in the shop according to the system's requirements would grant him talents, resources, points, and countless other rewards. For someone who already opened this shop, this was everything. Completing sales missions really wasn't that hard. For proof, just a few days later, he'd already sold that slime, which looked ordinary but actually possessed a special talent. That devouring talent earned him an SSS rank talent of his own. The moment he regained his talent, Lu Yu swore that all the humiliation and torture he suffered back at the Lu family, he would pay back in full. Little sister, definitely don't let him fool you. Back to the present, Yufi was still trying to stir up trouble and block Lu Yu's business. I was really annoyed, so he stepped out from behind the counter. Walking toward her, he said, "Bai Yafei, I've put up with you for a long time now." Seeing Lu Yu brimming with murderous intent, Yufei assumed he wanted to get physical, so she threatened to call the police. To her surprise, Lu Yu just coldly told her to get the hell out of his shop. Seeing he was all talk and no action, Yufei became even more arrogant. "I'm not leaving, so what? If you're so good, pull out another mutated beast, and this lady will buy it right now." Lu Yu received a friendly reminder from the system that there was one more beast waiting to be sold this week. Completing the mission would grant an SSS rank reward. Lu Yu didn't really want to tangle with Yufei anymore, but out of respect for the system, he decided to give her a chance. The remaining beast was a mutated skeleton emperor. Sounds pretty impressive, actually. But since it was a beast that hadn't developed yet, when Lu Yu brought the little skeleton out, it looked like a total moron. Seeing it, Yufei immediately lost her mind. She gritted her teeth and interrogated him. "Lu Yu, I've awakened a B-rank beast-taming talent. How dare you take this piece of trash out to try and trick me?" "This is a mutated skeleton emperor," Lu Yu reminded her earnestly. Of course, Bai Yufei didn't believe it. In her eyes, it was just a low-level death-type beast. "It doesn't look like an emperor at all." Hearing her say that, Lu Yu threw Yufei a look of contempt, dismissing her as ignorant, and explained, "Its talent is heaven-defying. As long as it keeps killing, its potential will grow infinitely, evolving into a Death Lord. Keep making things up. I've never heard of any beast that can grow infinitely." Yefei snapped at the customer who had bought the slime earlier. Standing to the side, listening to the two of them bicker, the customer couldn't stand Yefei anymore and had to cut in. "This girl really has a screw loose. Just a moment ago she was shouting to buy it, and now that the boss brought one out, she doesn't believe it? Forget it, Miss Shen. Not everyone has an eye for quality like you." Lu Yu had to step in before things got out of hand. But Bai Yufei was determined to ruin his business. She pulled out her phone, saying she would call a professional to expose Lu Yu's lying and scamming. True to her word, she called someone immediately. "Hello, shopkeeper Yang? It's me, Fei Fei. Could you please do me a favor and come to the pet shop at the west gate of the school?" Not long after, the person Yufei called stopped in front of Lu Yu's mythical pet shop. As soon as he stepped inside, he immediately saw the slime, which had the potential to reach level 9 in Miss Shen's hands. I was incredibly shocked that it could even absorb resources to strengthen itself. "Shopkeeper Yang, I'm here," Yefei said happily. "Sorry, I got distracted. This is the beast you pre-ordered. I brought it along. Do you want to sign the contract with it now?" This man's full name was Yang King, owner of the splendid pet shop. Yufei wasn't in a hurry to sign the contract with the creature in his hands. Instead, she told Yang Xing to look at Lu Yu's beast for a second. Appearance-wise, it really was just a useless little skeleton, but Yang King felt something was off. He immediately activated his data eye to inspect the item. Yang Xing learned that this little skeleton was also a special beast with an innate talent for growth. It just needed to kill to get infinitely stronger, and on top of that, it hadn't been contracted yet. He immediately turns to Lu Yu and asked, "How much for this one?" "I'll pay any price." Aizo finally met someone who knows their stuff. Lu Yu shrugged in response. Seeing the situation change in a way she didn't expect, Yue Fei immediately became anxious. She questioned Yang Xing, "Shopkeeper Yang, you are a super rank beast tamer. Why would you waste a fortune to buy this piece of trash level 1 beast? Don't you trust my data eye? Its growth talent is infinite. It could even become a Death Emperor." Yang Xing replied, and Yufei was immediately shocked speechless. She couldn't have imagined in her wildest dreams that Lu Yu wasn't lying. This little skeleton really was a mutated skeleton emperor. With its boundless development potential, Miss Shen couldn't help but mock UFA after seeing her humiliation. "I told you, boss. Is so handsome he definitely wouldn't lie to people." Yuffie was absolutely furious now. Hearing Miss Shen say that, she became even more irritated and lashed out rudely. "Shut up, you idiot! You already signed a contract with that trashy slime!" To her surprise, the person she called, Yang Xing, poured another bucket of cold water on her by saying that he had just used his data eye to check the slime, and the results showed it also possessed an infinite growth talent. Soon, Miss Shen would easily be able to overwhelm beast tamers of her own rank. That remark was like a slap in the face to Duyet Fai, but Lu Wu didn't care about offending her. The most important thing for him right now was securing the sale. 3 million, Lu Wu said bluntly, naming a flat price for the skeleton from the shop owner. Ung King's face went pale instantly. It wasn't because he thought the price was too high, but because 3 million felt like giving it away for free. I immediately pulled out his card and handed it over, saying, "I'll definitely remember this favor, Lu Wu." "Don't mention it," Lu Wu replied cheerfully as he took the card. Only then did Duyet Fai realize just how valuable that little skeleton was. Otherwise, Yang King wouldn't have reacted like that. She went crazy again, pointing a finger at Lu Wu and cursing rudely. "Lu Wu, you dare play me? You have such a great beast but wouldn't sell it to me? It's because you have dog eyes and can't recognize quality." Lu Wu shrugged. "I can't be blamed for that." Not knowing when to quit, Duyet Fai kept pushing him. "I don't care. You have to bring out another mutated beast for me now." "Sorry, I'm all out. There won't be any more from now on." This arrogance, looking down on everyone, really got under Duyet Fai's skin. She questioned how someone like Lu Wu, a loser without even the talent to be a beastmaster, and someone who was kicked out of the Lu family, could be so cocky. Tired of her constant insults, Lu Wu decided he wouldn't hold back anymore and replied, "Sorry, but I've actually awakened my talent twice now." As he said those words, he released his pressure, and it was so intense that Yang Xing nearly collapsed. He concluded that this talent had to be at least A rank. However, Miss Shen, standing nearby, shook her head. She was A rank herself and had never emitted pressure like that. Therefore, she reckoned Lu Wu must be at least S rank. "You're pretty smart," he thought. He silently agreed with her assumption. SSS rank talent was way too attention-grabbing, so it was safer to just claim S rank. As for Bai Duyet Fai, she was now so terrified she had slumped to the ground. She had never met anyone who awakened twice, let alone with S rank talent. What mattered most was that this person was her ex-boyfriend, and he was the one she had always looked down on and humiliated. Duyet Fai kept muttering, "No, wait, this is impossible." Lu Wu replied arrogantly, "In this beast-taming world, nothing is impossible." Duyet Fai was so angry she gritted her teeth. Then, shamelessly, she blurted out, "Lu Wu, I didn't expect you to awaken your talent again. In that case, how about I give you another chance to pursue me?" Everyone present found that statement laughable. Lu Wu was even more disgusted with her. He didn't even have to think about it before replying. "Not interested, leave now." "You bastard, you're so fickle, just you wait." Duyet Fai, furious and embarrassed, spat out an insult and left. With only 3 people left in the shop, Lu Wu used the excuse that it was closing time to politely usher the other 2 out. Before leaving, Miss Shen took out her phone to ask for his contact information, and Yang Qing did the same. Lu Wu thought, Shen Ninian was a freshman at the Beast Taming University, so she could definitely help him pull in a lot of new customers. And even though Yang Qing was a competitor in the industry, who knew? They might end up collaborating. From now on, he wouldn't have to worry about failing system missions again. After weighing the pros and cons, he scanned both their codes. After seeing them off, Lu Wu stretched lazily. Today had been a long day, but the harvest wasn't bad. The system asked if he wanted to open the beast shop, and Lu Wu naturally didn't refuse. At that moment, the system shop only had a few beasts left. None of them caught his eye because these were all the free ones. The system explained, "What do you expect from free stuff? Switch to the paid menu," Lu Wu pouted. The system nodded, swiped across the screen, and changed the shop interface to show paid beasts. Lu Wu examined each one carefully, but he was too picky, complaining that one looked too ugly. No way. Then he complained another didn't match his talent. When he scrolled past a 3-headed hellhound with high attack power, Lu Wu paused for a moment. The system thought he wanted to choose it. Who would have thought he'd refuse because he was bitten by a dog when he was little? "What about these 3 dark-type beasts?" The system was getting annoyed but still tried to accommodate Lu Wu by introducing other items. Dark-type beasts were indeed perfect for his newly awakened talent. So, Lu Wu considered it more seriously. Finally, he decided to choose a world-ending demon dragon for 600 points. After redeeming the little dragon, Lu Wu's points dropped exactly to 0. They clearly said it was a little dragon, but when the world-ending demon dragon hatchling appeared, Lu Wu's eyes popped out in shock at its size. "System, you call this a little dragon?" "It's a dragon type, host, of course it'll be a bit big." "Don't worry," the system replied. "This dragon has dark dragon attributes. Current awakening level is 1, but its potential can reach overlord level 10. It has 2 talents. First, absorbing dark power for infinite growth. Second, absorbing dragon-type power to destroy other dragon clans and steal their attributes." Lu Wu was extremely satisfied, seeing it had overlord level 10 potential right from the start. Beast potential was categorized, starting from awakening, then transcendence, star eater, moon bright, sun radiant, saint spirit, overlord, and the highest, monarch. The 3 strongest people in the nation only possessed 1 beast that reached the monarch level, yet the very first beast Lu Wu formed a contract with was already nearing that level. "Are you satisfied, master?" the system asked. Lu Wu nodded eagerly, saying he was very satisfied, and immediately signed the contract. The bond between the two was quickly established. "You can now use your talent to transfer energy to this world-destroying demon dragon." Lu Wu nodded again and began channeling dark energy into the dragon. Before long, the system congratulated him on successfully upgrading his beast to awakening level 10. However, it couldn't break through, which left Lu Wu deeply suspicious. "System, why can't it break through?" he asked. "Because the master's current beast space cannot contain a beast beyond the awakening level," the system replied. It seems that besides finding a good beast, Lu Wu needs to quickly increase his own strength as well. He then asked the system if it could make the demon dragon a bit smaller. "Its current form is really too eyesore." "Of course you can," the system replied, guiding Lu Wu to simply use his intent to command it. He tried as instructed, and the dragon immediately shrank down to the size of a puppy, looking incredibly cute. This was much more convenient than before. Meanwhile, Shen Ninian returned to her dormitory at the Beast Taming University. She was eager to show her friend Ruoyan the slime she had just bought. When Ruoyan saw it, she panicked and whispered to Nianian, "A slime? Hide it quickly, don't let Su Ying see it." But before Nianian could react, the girl named Su Ying had already appeared, her face full of arrogance and her tone sounding very unpleasant. "Too late, I've already seen it. You promised you wouldn't bring any decorative pets into the dorm, didn't you?" "Nianian didn't do it on purpose." Ruoyan hurriedly stepped in front of Su Ying to protect Nianian, but Nianian wasn't one to be pushed around, and she immediately shot back. She said that the creature in her hand was not a decorative pet, so she hadn't violated any rules. Su Ying listened, her eyes filled with even more contempt. "You aren't planning to sign a contract with this trashy slime, are you?" Su Ying was so arrogant because she was a level 10 beast tamer who had signed a contract with a powerful steel wolf. Before Nianian could answer, another roommate interjected, "That's probably not it. After all, Nianian has an A-grade talent. How could she do something so foolish?" Despite them mocking the slime in her hand as trash, Nianian held it tightly. She claimed this slime was a mutant beast that could grow by devouring resources. And naturally, no one believed her. "Nonsense," Su Ying said annoyingly. "Slimes can only grow to level 3 at most. Where does this talk of infinite growth come from? I've already signed a contract with it. It has already reached awakening level 5. Nianian almost jumped up to defend her beast. At that moment, the other friend in the room grabbed her, advising her not to say such foolish things. Even if she wasted a huge amount of resources, a slime would never reach a transcendental level. Even her best friend, Ruoyan, felt that Nianian had been scammed this time. Not wanting to argue with them, she placed the slime on the table, determined to prove its infinite potential right there and then. Nianian then asked Su Ying, "Su Ying, the resources for your steel wolf have already exceeded 2 million, right?" "So what?" Su Ying replied while summoning her beast, bragging that it had already reached the 9th level of awakening. Nianian just smiled, then took out raw materials worth 1.2 million and told her to watch closely. She poured all the resources into the slime in her hand. Su Ying didn't even want to look, thinking to herself that anyone can dump resources into a pet. The important thing is whether it actually has the stats to absorb it all. But just as she turned her head away, the other two roommates were shocked to see Nianian's slime absorbing all the materials. Then it began to transform. Before long, it went from an awakening level 5 slime to level 10 and finally broke through. A level 10 slime? Ruoyan couldn't believe her eyes. Su Ying turned back, her jaw dropping in shock. "It's not over yet, everyone keep watching," Nianian said proudly. "The potential of the slime has also increased now. It has reached at least the star tier." Su Ying was furious because she was unwilling to accept it. She had never met a slime that could reach the star tier. Enraged and disgusted, Su Ying pointed at Nianian's face and rudely suggested, "If you've got the guts, let's go outside and fight." Nianian was never the type to be bullied. Furthermore, after buying the slime from Liu Wu, she was even more confident, so she had no reason to refuse the challenge. The two went outside and Su Ying immediately summoned her steel wolf. She wanted the other party to taste its power. Compared to Nianian's tiny slime, the steel wolf definitely looked much more imposing. However, the very first time it lunged, the slime counterattacked fiercely with a skill called Soul Chain, leaving the wolf blinded and disoriented. Even though Su Ying saw it with her own eyes, she still couldn't believe that a tiny slime could use a transcendental skill and even beat her beast into that state. Su Ying was so shocked she fell to the ground, muttering to herself, "How could this possibly happen?" Nim Nim has won. Stand tall and proud in front of her, and declare that this is the mutant slime you were looking down on just a moment ago. "I'll let this slide since we're roommates," she said, waving her sleeve as she walked away. Nyukvun hurried after her, asking as she walked where she had bought that slime, and they decided to discuss it back in their room. The next day, Lu Vu's mythical pet shop welcomed a new guest. It was a young man with quite a spirited attitude. Noticing the newly opened shop on his way, he walked in out of curiosity and immediately spotted Lu Vu's chibi-sized world-ending demon dragon curled up and snoring away. His eyes lit up instantly, and he muttered to himself, "A sub-dragon species like this wouldn't be a bad gift for my little sister." He immediately asked Lu Vu how much the little dragon cost. "I'm sorry, this is my contracted pet, it's not for sale," Lu Vu replied politely. "Listen, kid, I'm not short on cash. Just name your price." The young master became even more arrogant and pushy. Lu Vu wondered to himself if this guy was deaf or just couldn't understand human speech. He had already made it clear, yet the guy was still stubbornly trying to buy it. But since the customer is king, he tried to remain as polite as possible. "I am sorry, I truly cannot sell this pet," Lu Vu repeated firmly. At this, the young master, who clearly didn't know his place, put on a furious face and snapped that Lu Vu was refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I then summoned his pet, a black feather crow. "I'm going to teach you a lesson." Looking at the tiny black crow in front of him, Lu Vu just silently cursed at the guy for being a fool who didn't know his own limitations, and then his snoring little dragon suddenly opened its eyes. It didn't even bother to stand up, it just spread its wings, and the black feather crow, which was mid-flight, was hit and came crashing down to the ground. The young master suffered the backlash from his pet and spat out a mouthful of blood. Clutching his chest, he tried to stand steady, genuinely shocked that the dragon had defeated his black feather crow with just a single look. Was that dark energy from just a moment ago really released by this demon dragon? The young master wondered to himself, filled with confusion, because even the #1 beast-taming family in the country, the Lu family, didn't have a demon dragon species. Facing his questions was Lu Vu's look of utter disgust. Seeing that the situation was turning bad, the young master feared he would get beaten to a pulp, so he quickly scurried away. "Running away already? How boring." Lu Vu rested his chin on his hand, muttering in disdain. After leaving the pet shop, the young master headed straight to the hospital, where the medical bills he had to pay after just one glance from the world-ending demon dragon reached 5 million. As he walked along, staring at the long list of medical expenses, he accidentally crashed into another young man. "Damn it, what kind of blind bastard just slammed into me?" he shouted arrogantly. To his surprise, when he looked up, he saw the person in front of him was the young master of the Law family, La Thien Wiem. "Who are you calling a bastard? Big brother, why are you here?" The young master became as obedient as a puppy the moment he saw his brother, trying to see who had caused such a loss of face for the La family. "What else?" La Thien Wiem replied sullenly. His younger brother turned panicked upon hearing this, waving his hands repeatedly. "Thien Wiem, don't start trouble. That is not someone we can afford to mess with." However, hearing that only made La VM angrier. He furrowed his brows and asked his brother, "Oh, so there's actually someone the La family can't touch? I is a beast tamer who has contracted with a demon dragon species." "What? A demon dragon species?" La VM's voice shot up in an instant, then he fell into deep thought, because a beast tamer capable of controlling a demon dragon hadn't appeared in many years. After a moment of contemplation, La VM said, "Latrak, take me to see that beast tamer immediately." Although Latrak used to be very afraid of his brother, this time he didn't dare to comply because he believed that even his big brother was no match for Lu Vu, whom he had met at the shop earlier. Seeing his younger brother acting so foolishly, La VM immediately gave him a sharp flick to the forehead. "You idiot! We're going to apologize, not start a fight." Despite being hit and scolded by his brother, Latrak didn't dare to resist. He just gave a silly smile and replied, "Yes, yes, yes, I knew my big brother wouldn't be as stupid as me." Then he hurriedly led the way. La VM left the hospital thinking deeply. In Mado, almost all dragon tamers belong to the Lu family. If there really was a demon dragon species, it shouldn't have been hidden so well. But if it was someone who could control a demon dragon, they were likely related to the Lu family in some way. Before long, the two brothers stopped in front of the mythical pet shop. Lu Vu was still open for business as usual. Seeing Latrak return with another man, he laughed mockingly. "Oh? Couldn't win, so you went to get reinforcements?" He could see La VM opposite him, cracking his knuckles as if he wanted to have a real showdown. However, the next moment, he grabbed Latrak by the nape of his neck, forcing him to bow at a 90-degree angle and said, "Senior Lu Vu, I am here today representing the La family to apologize to you. My younger brother is ignorant and has offended you. I have prepared a small gift, hoping that you, being a person of stature, will not hold a grudge and will forgive him this once." Even though Latrak was quite unwilling, he still had to follow his brother's lead and apologize to Lu Vu. Then, La VM brought out an item, a space crystal, a platinum-level spatial resource that could be used to expand space. The moment he saw it, Lu Vu's eyes lit up while he wondered what kind of background those two brothers had to be so generous. He had been worried about how to expand his own beast-taming space, and unexpectedly, a treasure had found its way to his doorstep. Thinking this, Lu Vu replied to La VM, "It's just a small matter. I don't hold grudges against children." Saying that, he put an arm around his shoulder and asked familiarly, "I sense that you must have just broken through a new realm and awakened a new beast-taming slot, right?" La VM was slightly surprised, then replied politely, "Senior is truly perceptive. A few days ago, I just broke through my fire element to the stellar rank and unlocked my third beast-taming slot. It was like striking gold." Lu Wu immediately suggested a red flame chicken, perfect for the other guy's talent, for the bargain price of 3 million. He invited Tianyan to take a look. He followed Lu Wu's finger, only to see a golden chicken that looked completely useless. Though he was full of doubt, Tianyan didn't want to offend Lu Wu. So he replied, "If the senior says so, this junior will buy it." Laze, unable to take it anymore, whispered into his brother's ear, "Brother, even if we have the money, we can't just throw it out the window like this." Noticing their strange attitude, Lu Wu immediately asked, "Do you two think I'm intentionally making things difficult for you?" "I wouldn't dare!" Tianyan, afraid of upsetting him, immediately pulled his brother away. "It's just that I haven't quite figured out your deeper meaning in asking me to buy this red flame chicken. I just saw your sincerity, that's all," Lu Wu smiled. Then he enthusiastically advertised his on-sale pet, claiming that the red flame chicken could refine any type of flame. And from there, it constantly boosts its potential. Tianyan was stunned to hear this and stepped forward. "May I test it out, senior?" Lu Wu naturally didn't refuse. As a green flame appeared in his palm, that golden chicken didn't fear his cold flame at all. Instead, it happily absorbed it. During the process, Tianyan seemed to see the silhouette of a true, fully grown red flame chicken. Goosebumps covered his skin. This was no ordinary chicken anymore. This was clearly a future flame emperor. Tianyan instinctively bowed deeply before Lu Wu, sincerely saying, "Thank you, senior, for the blessing. The entire La family will remember this favor. It's just a pet." "No need for all that," Lu Wu waved him off. Seeing that Lu Wu didn't seem bothered, Tianyan gathered the courage to ask one more thing. "May I ask you a bold question? Do you have any connection to the most powerful beast-taming family, the Lu family?" At the mention of the Lu family, Lu Wu, who had been happy just a moment ago, was now seething with rage, grinding his teeth. It took a long while for him to calm down, and he told Tianyan that he and the Lu family had long since cut all ties. Judging by his expression, Tianyan guessed that Lu Wu and the Lu family had a feud, so he didn't dare ask any more. With nothing left to do, the two Law brothers asked to leave the shop. After seeing them off, Lu Wu returned to his cheerful self. It was time to try out the space crystal. In the blink of an eye, Lu Wu's beast space broke through, expanding to 100,000 square meters, reaching the transcendent level 1. Even though he knew what the crystal could do, witnessing this breakthrough with his own eyes still left Lu Wu a bit dazed. Just by absorbing the space energy from it, he had upgraded his beast tamer level. This method really is extravagant. Now that the space was big enough and his level had increased, it was time for the world-ending demon dragon to evolve. With Lu Wu channeling dark energy into the dragon, it immediately reached a new milestone, breaking through to the transcendent level. At the same time, it mastered a red star level skill called Ancestral Dragon Demon Soul. Besides that, the world-ending demon dragon awakened its dark demon dragon soul and gained the soul-destroying ancestral dragon power. The system immediately appeared to congratulate Lu Wu. Seeing his powerful world-ending demon dragon spread its wings and roar, Lu Wu reassured it, "Don't be impatient. Very soon, I'll let you taste real dragon meat." Taking advantage of the empty shop, Lu Wu called Shen Nianian to ask if her slime was leveling up smoothly. On the other end of the line, Nianian's voice was full of joy as she bragged that her pet had reached Awakening Level 10, with potential reaching Radiant Star Level 9. She also mentioned that the shop owner, Yang Chen, had closed his shop to focus on training the little skeleton. This surprised Lu Wu. At Yang Chen's house, ever since the little skeleton appeared, it had been absolute chaos. The way he trained it was also very strange. I made the little skeleton slaughter chickens non-stop. Just like that, after only a few days, its strength reached Transcendent Level 3. Thanks to Yang Chen, the chicken stalls in the market hadn't known a moment of rest these past few days. They looked at him like he was their savior. Everywhere you went, you heard nothing but praise. "Young man, you sure work fast. He's a transcendent level beast tamer, you know, killing 100,000 chickens in 2 days. Even the chickens call him the living Grim Reaper when they see him." After the little skeleton finished bleeding the last chicken, Yang Chen stood up and politely said, "Everyone, today is the last day I'll be slaughtering chickens. You finally came to your senses? A transcendent level beast tamer working at a slaughterhouse is such a waste of talent." These people thought Yang Chen was leaving to do something grand. Who would have thought he'd say, "No, I'm getting ready to go slaughter pigs"? Yang Chen's goal was simple: to keep the little skeleton in a constant state of slaughter to help it grow. Once he's butchered enough animals at the slaughterhouse, he'll earn his butchery license and move on to higher-tier facilities, where countless awakened-grade fierce beasts are waiting. Some are even superhuman grade, just waiting to be processed. By then, Little Skeleton could hit peak level 10 of the Star Phonon rank, and Yang Xing could break through to the Star Phonon level himself. Just the thought of it. Yang Xing could already see his future wide open. He's also been diligently messaging Suyu to trade updates. Honestly, you have to admit this guy is a total freak, but in this era only a slaughterhouse can truly unleash the slaughtering talent of Little Skeleton, using sheer quantity to make up for quality. At this rate, Yang King becoming a sun-level beast tamer isn't just a pipe dream. Looks like Suyu's first 2 clients are both making great progress. Just as he thought that, he got another message from Yang Qing saying a client just reached out, and he personally referred them to Suyu's pet shop. I was incredibly grateful because right now, what Suyu lacks most is a steady stream of customers. At the same time, Luo Tianyan messaged him saying her younger sister had just awakened her beast tamer talent. So she wanted to bring her over to Suyu's shop to pick out a high-quality pet. Having 2 business leads at once put Suyu in a great mood, while the world-ending magic dragon kept nuzzling him for attention. Suyu patted it gently. "Don't be impatient. I'll expand the space soon to help you break through." Before long, the first customer of the day arrived, and Suyu stood up, ready to greet them. This guy doesn't exactly look thrilled to be here. He's the steward for the Zhang family, a major clan in Mado named Zhang Shourong. What kind of good stuff could a dump like this possibly have? Zhang Shurong thought to himself as he walked straight up to Suyu, chin tilted up. Young King sent me, said you've got the best pets around. I wouldn't go so far as to call them the best, but my shop only deals in high-end pets, Suyu replied with a smile. Seeing how young yet confident he was, Shurong liked him even less. He wanted to see what kind of high-end pet a hole-in-the-wall shop like this could possibly pull out. Suyu tried to speak a few times but was cut off. Looks like he's dealt with another difficult customer. Cut the crap and bring out those high-end ones you mentioned so I can have a look. Shurong's attitude started to annoy Suyu, but money comes first. He opened the system and pulled out a cage containing a small goblin. Just as Suyu was about to introduce it, the guy blasted him. You're calling a low-tier goblin a high-end pet? Are you taking me for a fool? I actually thought if you had something good, I'd introduce the Mahjong family to you. What a waste of an opportunity. Just wait for this shop to be shut down within 3 days. Zhang Shurong really didn't give anyone a chance to speak. His arrogance made Suyu want to beat him to a pulp right there. I was about to snap back, but the front door opened, welcoming another guest. The Zhang family? So mighty, aren't you? That was the voice of a young girl. Suyu. As soon as he saw Tianyan, he knew this was the sister he mentioned in the message. The Luo siblings really are carbon copies of each other, right down to that arrogant devil-may-care vibe. As for Shurong, the moment he turned around, he realized it was the young master and young miss of the Luo family. The Luo family is a notch above the Zhongs, so he was naturally terrified. Young Master Luo, young Miss Lo, are you two here to buy pets as well? Zhang Shurong asked, sweating. A terrifying theory formed in his mind. Was this rundown shop funded by the Luo family? If so, he was finished. Because the Zhang family's entire business relies on the Luo family's support. If he offended them, the Zhang family might as well be done for. Young Miss Lu didn't even bother looking at Shurong, walking right past him with her brother. Tianyan approached Suyu, maintaining his usual respectful demeanor. He bowed, "Senior." The young miss behind him looked at him with curiosity, her cheeks flushing red as she thought, the shop owner is so handsome and quite young, too. Zhang Shurong was even more shocked seeing that. Suyu looked like he had barely reached adulthood, yet he could make the young master of the Luo family bow his head and call him senior? In his panic, he muttered that out loud, instantly earning a death glare from Luo Tianyan. Shut up. Did I give you permission to speak? That simple sentence was enough to make Shurong fall to his knees in terror. Tianyan couldn't be bothered with him and turned to introduce his sister to Suyu. The young lady's name is King Qing. She's young and a bit arrogant, but like her brother, she respects Suyu. While Suyu welcomed them warmly on the outside, he was secretly frustrated on the inside. Why? Because once that goblin was out, it couldn't be returned to the system. If he couldn't sell it, Suyu would be broke for the week, and by then, how would his world-ending magic dragon break through? The more he thought, the more annoyed Suyu became. Tianyan, being perceptive, noticed something was off about his expression and panicked inwardly. Senior seems to be worried about something. Could it be because he didn't sell a pet just now? Thinking that, Luo Tianyan immediately said, "Senior, is that goblin for sale? I'll buy it." At that, King looked a bit impatient. "Brother, you haven't even asked about the condition of that goblin and you're already buying it?" Lúc Vu Thiên rang sườn nghiêm túc của Thiên Viêm thực sự đã kéo Lục Vũ ra khỏi cơn giận. Cậu lấy lại phong thái, chỉnh đốn lời nói và bắt đầu giới thiệu con goblin đó cho hai anh em nhà họ La. Nhìn sinh vật trước mắt, Lục Vũ đánh giá. Con goblin này có thể thông qua việc sinh sản hậu duệ để nâng cao tư chất và sức mạnh. Nói đến đây, cậu cũng chợt ngộ ra một điều. Goblin càng mạnh thì xác suất sinh ra hậu duệ chất lượng cao cũng tăng theo. Nghe vậy, Tình không nhịn được mà thốt lên kinh ngạc trước vòng lập vô hạn này. Nếu cứ tiếp điên thế này, chẳng mấy chốc sẽ tạo ra một chủng tộc cực kỳ đáng gờm. Đứng bên cạnh, Thu Vinh đã phải mở to mắt, tai ù đi như sét đánh ngang trời trước thông tin vừa rồi. Trời ơi, mình đã bỏ lỡ một sừng vật nghịch thiên tới mức nào vậy chứ? Thiên Viêm liền hướng ánh mắt về phía Lục Vũ và đưa ra lời đề nghị. Tiền bối, mong ngài nhất định hãy bán con goblin này cho nhà họ La chúng tôi. Nghe vậy, nhìn ánh mắt khao khát của họ, Lục Vũ lại có chút hoài nghi. Ba đại ngũ long thế gia có thể hùng mạnh như bây giờ, chẳng phải cũng nhờ vào chủng tộc Cư Long đó sao? Khao thua hiêu một điều, năng lực sinh sản của con goblin này chẳng hề thua kém Trung Cư Long. Nhà họ La thoát khỏi chỉ là chuyện sớm muộn thôi. Hơn nữa, với Lục Vũ thì bán cho ai mà chẳng được. Sau khi cân nhắc kỹ lưỡng, cậu đáp. Được thôi, nhưng cần một ngũ thú sư lập tức ký khế ước với nó. Anh có người nào thích hợp không? Dù vậy, Lục Vũ vẫn hơi e ngại. Mai nừ mà đi với goblin, phong cách này có chút kỳ quái đấy. Thế nhưng Thiên Viêm vẫn không hề lấy chuyện. Tôi đã có lựa chọn rồi. Anh ta cực kỳ kiên định với quyết định của mình. Đó là con riêng của gia chủ tiến nhiệm. Mẫu thân cậu ta đã bị chính vợ của gia chủ bí mật xứ tử rồi. Như sợ đối phương đổi ý, Thiên Viêm nói thêm. Tôi đã cho cậu ta cơ hội trở về nhà họ La. Cậu ta sẽ không bao giờ phản bội tôi đâu. Thế nhưng, chính những lời này lại khiến Thu Vinh bàng hoàng không tin nổi. Đáng lẽ mình vừa nghe phải điều không nên nghe sao? Anh ta vẫn chưa thoát khỏi biểu cảm há hốc vì kinh ngạc, thầm nghĩ. Thật sự dám nói những chuyện này trước mặt mình sao? Ngay lúc đó, Thiên Viêm cũng nhận ra ánh mắt ngỡ ngàng của Thu Vinh đang dán chặt vào mình. Khi ánh mắt chạm nhau, Thu Vinh liền thu lại cảm xúc, cố tỏ ra bình tĩnh. Chuyện gì thế? Sao tự nhiên tôi không nhìn thấy gì cả? Thấy vậy, trong đầu Thiên Viêm nảy ra một ý định táo bạo, hay là xử lý hắn luôn? Trong khi anh ta vẫn không ngừng diễn kịch khiến người ta ngửa mặt, anh nói. Xong rồi, không nhìn thấy, cũng không nghe thấy gì cả. Tôi thành phế nhân rồi. Vì không thể nhịn nổi nữa, Thiên Viêm nhìn thẳng vào Thu Vĩnh cảnh cáo. Chuyện hôm nay coi như cho ông một bài học. Trong giọng nói chứa đầy sát khí đe dọa. Về đi. Quen cho khai cái miếng của ông vào, nếu để tôi nghe thấy bất kỳ lời đồn nào. Anh ta không nói thêm lời nào, lập tức che miệng và làm dấu im lặng. Hiểu rồi. Từ hôm nay, tôi là người câm. Quan sát cảnh tượng từ đầu đến cuối, Lục Vũ chỉ biết lắc đầu bất lực, coi như hắn phản ứng nhanh nên nhặt lại được cái mạng. Đúng lúc đó, Tình Tình có phần lo lắng hỏi. Anh ơi, nếu để La Ân ký khế ước với Goblin rồi, vậy em thì sao? Cô không hề giấu giếm sự khao khát trong ánh mắt. Em cũng muốn một sừng thú lợi hại mà. Thiên Viêm là người mềm lòng. Anh đáp. Yên tâm, tiền bối sẽ giúp em tìm một sừng thú phù hợp hơn. Goblin chỉ là chuyện nhỏ thôi. Nghe đến đây mắt Tình Tình sáng rực. Ý anh là còn có sừng thú lợi hại hơn nữa sao? Ân gai gây sao? Cô chạy đến chỗ Lục Vũ với vẻ đầy mong đợi. Tình Tình ngước nhìn với ánh mắt cún con không ai có thể cưỡng lại. Anh chủ tiệm, có sừng thú nào phù hợp với em không? Như sợ Lục Vũ không tin tưởng, cô liền thể hiện năng lực. Em là ngưu thú thiên phú cấp A, băng phách. Em muốn ký khế ước với một ấu thú hề băng mạnh mẽ như con xích viêm kê của anh trai vậy. Thay màn giới thiệu vừa rồi, Lục Vũ hài lòng gật đầu liên tục. Được. Ngay sau đó cậu lấy ra một ma thú. Có lẽ nó sẽ phù hợp với cô đấy. Vua nhìn thấy cô nghĩ hoặc hỏi. Đây là băng hồ sao? Tình Tình trở nên hào hứng hắn. Anh chủ tiệm, con băng hồ này có phải cũng có thể luyện hóa dị băng không? Nghe vậy, Lục Vũ không tiếc lời khen. Thông minh đấy. Nó có thể hấp thu đi băng và không ngừng trở nên mạnh mẽ hơn. Cô không thể đổi thêm mà trực tiếp dùng ma pháp. Để tôi thử. Khi Tình Tình đưa qua cầu ma pháp ra, nó liền trở nên hào hứng và kêu chip chip. Nhưng cảnh tượng tiếp theo còn khiến cô sung sướng hơn. Con băng hồ vậy mà thực sự đã luyện hóa được lực băng phách. Bộ lông trắng tinh bắt đầu nhú ra những tia màu lam nhạt. Dường như đã hài lòng trên cả mong đợi với linh thú này. Cô liền hỏi. Bao nhiêu tiền à? 1.000 ván? 2.000 ván? Bao nhiêu cũng đáng? Lục Vũ nhẹ nhàng báo giá như mỗi khi. Mỗi con 300 vạn. Thầy Tình Tình quá yêu thích. Thiên Viêm không chút do dự mà thanh toán luôn. Tiền bối, 600 vạn đã chuyển qua rồi. Đa tạ tiền bối đã chiếu cố nhà họ La. Nghe vậy, Lục Vũ xua tay bật cười. Đừng khách sáo. Đúng lúc đó, Diệt Thêm Ma Long gào lên một tiếng lớn. Nghe vậy, cậu nhìn theo hướng của nó ra phía ngoài. Ngoài cửa tiệm, sừng thú thần thoại của Lục Vũ đang bị bao phủ bởi những khí tức dày đặc. Không mất quá lâu để cậu nhận ra đó là gì. Khí tức của Cu Long, dâu cung kỳ đấy chứ. Như thể đã đoán trước, ánh mắt Lục Vũ sắc bén lại. Nhà họ Lục, cuối cùng cũng không ngồi yên được nữa sao? Chuyển cảnh đến dinh thự nhà họ Lục. Ánh nắng chói chang chiếu xuống khắp khu vườn. Trên bãi cỏ, một linh thú rồng đang thoải mái nằm tận hưởng ánh nắng. Hàng Đức đi đến chỗ Nhã Chi đang uống trà rồi hỏi. Bà chứ, bà tìm tôi. Bà ta nhẹ nhàng nâng tách trà lên môi rồi cất giọng. Tôi bảo anh giám sát tiểu xúc sinh Lục Vũ đó. Rồi Nhã Chi nói thêm. Nhân tiện. And track down the money his parents hid away back then. Speaking of which, she couldn't hide her irritation, slamming her teacup down hard. How many years has it been with no leads? Is that what you're telling me? Hong Duck quickly knelt on one knee and reported, My subordinates have been tracking him and discovered that Lu Vu has made a new move. She softened her voice. Let me hear it. Hong Duck then dropped a bombshell. Lu Vu had reawakened his beast-taming talent and bonded with a black dragon. Enna Chi couldn't contain her rage. She slammed the table and shouted. What? Her voice was filled with resentment. His talent was already extracted. How could he possibly become a beast tamer? A sinister smile spread across Nachi's face, as if she were plotting something. Lu Vu cannot be left alive this time. Seeing this, although he still found it hard to believe, Hong Duck quickly replied, Understood, my lady. At that same moment, the system appeared and notified Lu Vu. Host, you have achieved the milestone of selling a total of 5 pets. The system seemed extremely excited. The reward is a random SSS rank beast-taming talent. A status window quickly popped up. The system asked, Do you wish to claim it? It read, You have achieved the milestone of selling 5 pets. Reward, 1 random SSS rank beast taming talent. Upon reading this, Lu Vu's eyes lit up with surprise. A second SSS rank beast taming talent? Is this even real? I didn't hesitate for a second and hit claim. The system panel clearly displayed the info. Random SSS rank beast taming talent received. Immediately after, the system announced, "Congratulations, host. You have awakened the SSS rank talent, God-slaying Skyfire." Just then, Thien and Tin Tin, along with their pet, teleported in. He turned pale and remarked, "The power is too overwhelming. Could it be? Senior, did you just awaken a fire-type beast-taming talent?" Because Thien knew perfectly well that an S-rank talent couldn't possibly emit this kind of pressure. He looked over at Lu Vu, suspicion rising in his heart. Could it be the legendary SSS rank? Meanwhile, Lu Vu was still oblivious, asking, "Why did you suddenly kneel?" The two of them were trembling with fear, their faces turning ashen. Seeing this, the two slowly stood up, but they were still terrified. Their legs felt weak, and they couldn't stand steady. Then, Thien regained his composure and said, "Senior, it's getting late. My sister and I shouldn't bother you anymore." Beside him, Tin Tin suggested, "Brother, I want to stay with the shop owner a little longer." But she was quickly dragged away by Thien. "Don't cause trouble, let's go home." She kept looking back at Lu Vu, reluctant to leave. "I don't want to go." When night fell, the surroundings of his pet shop felt strangely bleak, but Hangduck rode in on a demonic beast, shattering the silence. "You piece of trash, Lu Vu! Come out here and die!" But not only was Lu Vu not afraid, he honestly lamented. "Heaven has a path that you refuse to walk. You keep charging into the gates of hell." Hearing this, he warned, "Big talk, isn't it? It was my mercy that kept you alive back then." But this only made Lu Vu more bloodthirsty. "I've lived until now and become a beast tamer specifically to get revenge on you people." Memories from back at the Lu family mansion quickly flooded his mind. There was once a tiny Lu Vu kneeling, begging for help. "The head of the house wants to strip my innate essence. Uncle Duck, save me." But he didn't hesitate to use magic, to fling a child like him away. Hangduck even looked at Lu Vu and spewed shameless words. "To be eyed by the head of the house for your talent and to offer everything to the young master. That is such an honor." But even if he died, Lu Vu didn't want to submit. He tried to run. "I don't want to." But a child's strength couldn't win. With just one kick, he stepped hard on his back. While throwing Lu Vu in front of Nachi, Hangduck growled, "Did I say you could leave?" Even though he was trembling from the beating, Lu Vu refused to give in. "That is my talent. You aren't allowed to take it." But all he saw before him was the tip of the man's boot, accompanied by a threat. "It's not for you to decide." On the other side, she raised her teacup as if watching a play. "Get it done quickly." As if waiting for just that, Hangduck quickly replied, "As you wish." He then used force to crush Lu Vu's ankle into the ground. Now he could only beg in despair, "Stop, please," because he continued to use his foot to grind the boy's small wrist. "So noisy." Hangduck frowned and sneered. "So what if you've awakened as a beast tamer?" A smirk appeared on his face. "You have to face the entire Lu family." Hearing this, Lu Vu narrowed his eyes and mocked, "What is the Lu family? And you, Hangduck, what are you?" As soon as the words left his mouth, Hangduck seemed provoked, gritting his teeth. "A piece of trash, yet you have such a big mouth." At this moment, a newborn dragon suddenly appeared and roared to show its dominance. Seeing this, Hangduck couldn't help but sneer, his voice dropping low, feeling indignant. "You actually have a bond with the dragon clan?" He stood tall on the back of his Gale dragon and continued. "This dragon doesn't even look fully grown and you've already forced it out to work?" Hangduck pointed at himself, his words dripping with contempt for his opponent. "I'm afraid it won't even be able to take a single hit from my Gale dragon." Then he suddenly waved his hand and shouted, "Gale strike!" The Gale dragon quickly spread its wings, carried him high into the sky, and breathed out a massive, powerful blast of wind. Below, Lu Vu and the little dragon remained completely unafraid. Meanwhile, countless powerful gusts of wind blasted toward them, yet Hangduck once again wore a look of contempt. "It's just a level 10 transcendent baby dragon, that's all. And you actually dare to provoke me?" However, when the scene shifted and the little dragon suddenly grew into a giant shielding Lu Vu with its wings, Duck couldn't help but panic, wondering what was happening as the dragon revealed blood-red eyes filled with killing intent. Its mouth, full of razor-sharp teeth, opened wide. Only then did Liu Wu slowly speak. "Is that really all you've got?" "Standing tall under the dragon's protection," he said coldly. "It seems you've made up your mind to die." Suddenly, the little dragon roared heroically again, and seeing this, Duck immediately fell into a state of extreme panic, his entire body trembling uncontrollably. "What is this thing?" he muttered, staring at the calm young man before him. "My dragon is already a level 10 prosperity star it can't lose." But Liu Wu remained unswayed, retorting, "Your Gale dragon isn't even worth being a snack for my dragon." He quickly opened his palm, unleashed the dragon domain technique, and ordered with an extremely solemn tone, and as soon as the words left his mouth, Duck couldn't hold back his terror. Trembling uncontrollably, he gasped, "How do you have a dragon domain?" His facial expression became stiff and hard to control. "That is a power only the true dragon and demon dragon lineages can possess." Meanwhile, Liu Wu offered an excited smile in response. "What a coincidence, it is indeed a demon dragon." Duck's brows furrowed instantly, every word he spoke as sharp as a knife. "It is the world-ending demon dragon, which specializes in feeding on giant dragons." Suddenly, the two dragons faced off, launching attacks at each other. The situation moved so fast that Duck hadn't even seen what happened when the little dragon's attack struck him and the Gale dragon, leaving Duck in a state of shock and disbelief. Both he and the Gale dragon were knocked down, their backs slamming hard against the dry, solid ground below, and Duck couldn't suppress his shivering. Staring at the person standing before him, he asked, "How is this possible?" I tried to drag himself inch by inch across the ground, his whole body bleeding and writhing in pain, when suddenly, his hand was stepped on hard by a black shoe. Liu Wu lowered his gaze to look at the man beneath his feet. "How does it feel to be stepped on by the loser you despised?" Then, without hesitation, he stomped again. "I have wanted to do this since that day." Having reached his breaking point, Duck panicked and pleaded, "Please spare me! Remember that I looked after you when you were a child!" However, Liu Wu didn't seem to hear a word. "Is that what you call looking after me?" He suddenly grabbed the man's hair. "Then watch closely." Across the way, the little dragon, still in its giant form, instantly lifted the Gale dragon into the air. It opened its massive mouth, prepared to swallow its opponent whole, and then, without mercy, the little dragon gulped it down. Seeing this, Duck could only weep. "My Gale dragon! My Gale dragon!" He seemed to have lost all pride, kneeling and kowtowing. "I know I was wrong. Please spare my life. I'll do anything you say." Hearing this, Liu Wu just coldly replied, "Is that so?" His eyes suddenly flared with intensity, brows furrowed, and Liu Wu walked toward Duck, his voice cold. "Then go to hell and repent." Hearing this, the little dragon suddenly raised one of its legs and lightly stomped down on Duck from above, and immediately fresh blood sprayed everywhere. On the ground, all that remained was a shallow crater. Liu Wu slowly reached out to touch his companion and praised, "Well done, world-ending demon dragon." At this moment, the system appeared, gleefully announcing, "Congratulations to the host for successfully eliminating the enemy." Pointing to the object floating before him, he continued, "You have received a Scarlet Star tier resource reward." Hearing this, Liu Wu couldn't help but stare at it, even as the system continued. "The demon heart contains all the life's insights of a demon, and it will constantly provide useful information. It can upgrade your pet's dark-type skills from Purple Star to Scarlet Star tier." Suddenly, the system shifted its tone, and fingertips began to display numbers. With a bright, flowery smile, it added, "You have 900 points accumulated. You can now sign a contract with your second pet." As the words faded, Liu Wu quickly scanned the dashboard, wondering, "A second pet?" He opened his palm, cradling a mystical flame. "If my second talent is the god-slaying heavenly fire..." Liu Wu seemed to have made up his mind. "Then choose that one!" After speaking, he quickly tapped the touchscreen with his index finger, and instantly, the system received the data and exchanged it for the Purple Flame Emperor bird, a bird shaped like a crane. It quickly appeared, wings spread wide. Current level, Awakening level 1. Potential, Holy Spirit level 10. At this moment, the system once again gave a brief introduction. The pet possesses the talents, Flame Spirit, Fire Lord, and Emperor Blood. Seeing this, Liu Wu couldn't help but get excited, praising, "This aura is just too strong." He stared at the pet he had just received, adding, as expected of a Holy Spirit-level pet. After that, Liu Vu immediately compared it to other pets. The national guardian dragon of the Ha Kingdom has only reached Holy Spirit level 1. Then, Liu Vu remembered the others on Blue Star. In total, there were only 6 national guardian divine beasts that had reached the Holy Spirit level. His hand gently touched the head of the purple flame emperor bird. As long as you grow, you will definitely be able to surpass the Ha Kingdom's national guardian dragon. As he finished, a seal appeared, his tone extremely serious. After signing the contract, the purple flame emperor bird quickly spread its wings and flew up, radiating a powerful aura. Then, Liu Vu seemed to remember something. Almost forgot. He turned the purple flame emperor bird into its small, cute form and placed it on his shoulder. That's more convenient. Liu once again gently patted the other's head with extreme indulgence. With you two, the 6 families' revenge will be one step closer. He looked up at the dragon, sensing its feelings. Feeling abandoned, are you? Even the world-ending demon dragon felt it. Liu could only break into a cold sweat, gently reminding it, "Can you not be so petty?" I didn't hesitate to reveal his next plan. I guarantee I'll sell the last pet this week. After that, I'll help you boost your bloodline and potential. Nearby, the purple flame emperor bird suddenly let out a few chirps, then immediately flapped its wings and flew forward. It was heading straight for that giant dragon. It kept flying in front of the world-ending demon dragon, fluttering its wings incessantly. Suddenly, an arrow pierced through the dragon's cold heart, making it tremble. The world-ending demon dragon quickly fell head over heels in love. Seeing this, Liu could only helplessly sigh. Truly, beauty can bewitch a dragon. Suddenly, Liu spoke up from behind. "World-ending demon dragon, this is for you." He held the object up in his palm. "Eat this demon heart, and your rank will increase. Breaking through to Saint Spirit level 1 is only a matter of time." Opposite him, the world-ending demon dragon immediately became extremely impatient. It opened its massive jaws, swallowed it whole, and then its body couldn't help but tremble in discomfort. With a splitting headache, Liu became very worried and reminded it, "Slow down. It contains too many dark and ferocious emotions." Watching the world-ending demon dragon cough violently, he judged, "Eating too fast makes it hard to digest." Liu slowly took a deep breath. "Don't rush. Let me help you." With that, his body suddenly radiated a powerful aura. With his energy refinement skills, he quickly channeled his inner energy into the world-ending demon dragon. A while later, Liu slowly said, "Done. You can absorb this energy now." Instantly, the world-ending demon dragon shuddered again, striking a majestic pose. At the same time, the system suddenly appeared. "Congratulations, host." He broke into a joyful smile. World-ending demon dragon has successfully absorbed the demon heart. Pet skills upgraded. On the screen, basic information about the new version of the pet appeared. Demon Eye Dragon, Red Star level. A single glance can wipe out a soul and corrupt the mind. Demon Dragon Body, Red Star level. Can defend against all types of physical attacks. The world-ending demon dragon puffed out its chest. "I am invincible now! Bow down to me, little bird!" The next second, it suddenly rubbed against Liu, acting spoiled, its eyes switching to sparkly mode. "Master, that demon heart was delicious. Give me some more." Liu laughed helplessly. "This is a rare treasure. You think it's a snack?" After the 2 pets went to rest, he observed his surroundings. Looking at the mess before him, he sighed. "Still have to clean up this disaster. What a hassle." Liu called TNVM. "I was just playing around outside the shop, but the floor is a bit dirty. Come over and help me clean up a little." He purposely understated it, saying, "a bit messy." TNVM replied, "I understand." A moment later, he and his subordinates arrived at the scene. TNVM looked at the sight before him and was stunned. "You call this a bit messy?" He examined it closely. "These are claw marks from a dragon-type species, and there are traces of wind blade cuts. It must be a gale-flying dragon." TNVM silently surmised, "Among the families, only the 6th family can contract with dragon-type pets. It seems the senior really has a deep grudge against the 6th family." He looked at Liu with admiration. Even when facing the 6th family, he could create a completely overwhelming situation. After inspecting, TNVM ordered his subordinates. "It's all yours." The 2 of them replied, "Yes, sir." By the next morning, the place had completely returned to its original state. Scene shifts to the Grand Lazada family mansion. As soon as he saw Tianviem, a subordinate hurriedly reported, "Young master, you're finally back. The young lady is very angry." As soon as he finished speaking, Tin Tin stormed in. "Have you gone mad?" she questioned. "How could you use all those resources just to breed them?" Ting Ting looked angrier than ever. "The birth rate for pets is already so low." "This is too risky," Tianviem explained in a serious tone. "This special goblin can reproduce and build an entire tribe. By the time I become the family head, its tribe will become the foundation of Lazada," he asserted firmly. Tin Tin asked hesitantly, "But you can't neglect my little ice fox just to raise goblins, right?" He patted her head to reassure her. "Don't worry, I've already had people prepare the best resources. Both the ice fox and the red flame chicken will be enhanced." Just then, a female subordinate brought a large box. "Young master, these are the resources you exchanged." Ting Ting excitedly took the box. "Let me see." As soon as she opened it, she exclaimed in delight, "There's so much of it. Big brother, you really are rich." Tin Ting happily picked up the 2 stones. "Even the crimson earth fire and the purple profound extreme ice are here. In my next life, I still want to be your little sister." She wasn't happy for long before Tianviem reminded her, "Be careful. That is a gift for Senior Lu. You should go deliver it to him yourself in a bit." Hearing this, Tin Tin's expression immediately changed. "Huh?" She sulked and threatened. "You won't give me resources, but you make me run errands? That's unreasonable. I'm going to go complain to Senior Lu." A while later, Ting Ting was standing in front of the Mythical pet shop. She stood before the door and whispered to herself, "I never thought my brother would be so far-sighted." Before this, she had questioned Tianviem. "Those are all treasures on the ranking board, worth 1,000 pieces of gold. How could you give them all away to someone else?" He calmly explained, "If it weren't for Senior Lu with my talent, I would at most stop at the monarch level. Now with the red flame chicken, not only can I become a top-tier monarch, but I also have a chance to break through to the overlord level." Ting Ting told herself, "As long as I keep a good relationship with Senior Lu, maybe I can also reach the overlord level." "Senior Lu, I'm here!" Saying that, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. Ting Ting cautiously brought out the gems. "This crimson earth fire and purple profound extreme ice are a small token of gratitude from the La family. Please accept it, Senior." Lu was a bit surprised. "Your brother helped me handle things yesterday. I haven't even had the chance to thank him yet." Tin Tin happily replied, "That was just a small matter. Lugia, please accept this." Liu Vu looked a bit surprised. "You already helped me out yesterday. I haven't even had the chance to thank you yet." Tin Tin chimed in cheerfully, "That's nothing, really. That beast you sold us, once upgraded, actually boosted the beast tamer's natural talent. That's worth way more than the gift itself." Liu Wu thought to himself, "The beasts from the system shop, are they really that effective?" He smiled and replied, "Then I won't be formal." He turned to leave so as not to bother his senior any longer. "If you need anything, just let me know." He slowly picked up the heart-burning red stone. Liu Mu took a guess. Heart-burning red stone? Sounds like it could be used for the Emperor Flamebird. He immediately summoned it. Liu Wu calmly brought the stone closer. "Here, this is for you." He told it to try it out. The Emperor Flamebird absorbed it easily. Liu Wu exclaimed in shock, "It broke through just like that?" Surprisingly, the Emperor Flamebird had evolved into a new form. Its power multiplied. The system immediately popped up. "Congratulations to the host. The Emperor Flamebird has broken through to the Transcendental grade. It mastered the skill, Red Star Flamebird True Form, significantly increasing the number and power of the flames released." Looking at the bird, Liu Wu couldn't help but be amazed. The first breakthrough was already the Red Star grade. Beasts bought with points are definitely stronger than the free stuff. Scene shifts to the Beast Taming University. Mado is in class, so it's quite quiet. Liu Luochen is focusing on her lecture. "In my class, you only need to remember 4 words. Strength is paramount." She asked excitedly, "Are there any students here confident in their own strength?" Liu Luochen smiled, her smile as gentle as a ray of sunlight. "Who can come up here and assist me with the teaching?" Dozens of male students had hearts in their eyes, racing to raise their hands. "Choose me, teacher. My beast has a gold grade skill. I'm at the 3rd awakening grade. Pick me," Luochen emphasized. "And just so you know, coming up here means a beast battle." A moment later, she pointed at Ruoyun and Xiaoping. All right, you two. Ruoyun was startled, full of surprise. Me? Xiaoping maintained his cold expression. Other students began to gossip. Isn't that Du Ruoyun one of the school's four beauties? I heard she has a support-type talent with such a bright future that people lose sleep just envying her. And the other one is Yan Xiaoping. He's signed a contract with a Berserk Blade werewolf, a pure burst damage type. If he's up against a support type who doesn't even have damage skills, won't he just flatten her? Hearing the comments about Xiaoping, Ruoyun turned pale with fear. Ruonian teased her. Poor moon shadow butterfly, you're about to be flattened back into a green caterpillar, Ruoyun. Helpless, she sighed. You really are enjoying the show without caring about how big the mess gets. Hurry and think of a way to help me. Ruonian took the opportunity to tease her more. Say something sweet to me. I'll consider stepping in to fight for you. Ruoyun immediately dove into her arms, buttering her up. Nianian, you're the best in the dorm, I beg you. Hearing that, Nianian stood up to take her place. Small thing. A few lecherous male students cheered with excitement. We get to see another beauty fight. Shen Nianian, my goddess. She stepped forward to explain. Teacher, Du Ruoyun is a support type and not good at solo duels. May I take her place? Lochin gently replied, Of course you may. She turned to ask the other student, Do you accept? Xiaoping said, Doesn't matter, he said smugly. Anyway, whoever I fight, I'll win. Nianian didn't hesitate and summoned her beast. Come on out! The crowd started whispering again. Am I seeing this right? A slime? It's a slime? She got into our school, yet she contracted a low-tier beast like a slime? And the opponent is a first-grade super grade. That slime's going to be sliced into mincemeat. Even Lochin was surprised. Student Shen Nianian, are you sure you want to use a slime for this battle? She answered firmly, Yes. Xiaoping spoke in a scornful tone. Just so we're clear, in a beast battle, life and death are up to fate. He glared sarcastically. If your slime dies, I'm not paying you for it. Wang Wu shouted angrily. How dare you talk to my goddess like that? Triu Hua, sitting next to him, added sourly. Doesn't matter how pretty she is. Without strength, she's just a vase. Teacher Liu already said it. Strength is paramount. Ruoyun turned to remind them. Don't you guys underestimate Nianian's slime, Triu Hua scoffed. No matter how strong a slime is, it's only at the third awakening grade. Ruoyun said coldly, Just watch and see. Nianian warned sternly, Today this young lady will teach you a lesson for free. Never underestimate any beast. Xiaoping replied with a smug tone, Ridiculous! Stop with the nonsense! He waved his hand. Come on out, Berserk Blade werewolf! Looking at Xiaoping and his beast, they were both muscular and fierce. Even so, Nianian and the slime weren't worried. Both were confident facing their opponent. The Berserk Blade werewolf let out a roar and began to power up. It crazily charged straight at the slime with its giant blade. The werewolf revealed its bloodthirsty nature and ferocity. It swung the sword powerfully, and a wave of red energy, filled with killing intent, rushed at the slime. Nianian pursed her lips, smiling contentedly, crossing her arms and letting out a humph. The slime didn't just sit there taking it, it used water-blue spikes. Xiaoping saw this and ordered contemptuously, It's just a gold-grade skill! The Berserk Blade werewolf, now surrounded by the slime's water, didn't give up. On the contrary, it became even more agitated. Xiaoping said arrogantly, Facing me, a transcendental grade, you only have one path, death. The Berserk Blade werewolf recklessly charged forward, its two swords crisscrossing with rays of red energy. But before it could touch the slime, it was wrapped up and lifted high into the air. It growled angrily. Wang Wu was stunned, his mouth agape. Goddess's slime is different from the others. Triu Hua curled her lip. Still nothing impressive. The werewolf kept struggling on the ground, trying to break free from the control. Xiaoping thought confidently, I bet you can't keep the werewolf under control for long. Wang Wu suddenly jumped up and shouted, Look! The Berserk Blade werewolf looks strange. Triu Hua couldn't believe her eyes. Am I seeing things? The werewolf is vomiting blood. The werewolf suddenly spat out a mouthful of fresh blood and fell. He slammed into the ground, crying out in pain as his sword slipped from his hands. Stunned, he asked, How could this even happen? Nian chuckled and said, Finally had enough, huh? He still couldn't believe it. His face went pale as he muttered to himself, This can't be real. I just got beaten by a slime? Thieu Bong sat slumped on the ground in a daze, clutching his head and wondering how it had come to this. She squinted, smiling as she said, "The world of pet beasts holds infinite possibilities." Ninian added, "One day even a slime will be able to make a great dragon bow down." The audience was still in shock, staring blankly for a long moment until Vu Vu excitedly jumped out of his seat, ignoring all decorum, and shouted, "No wonder she's my goddess!" "Just a few words and I'm already fired up," Trio Hua said with admiration. "How did you raise your pet, Nian? Tell me your training secrets." Nguyen Van rushed over, calling out, "Nian!" She hugged her friend happily, adding, "I knew you could do it." Nian replied modestly, "It was nothing." Thieu Bang was off to the side, constantly shouting, Berserk Wolf, wake up, please!" Nguyen Van stepped forward and offered, "Let me help you treat him." Thieu Bang awkwardly rubbed his head and replied, "Sorry to bother you, thank you." Nian crossed her arms and said grumpily, "It costs a lot to have Nguyen Van treat him, you know. You're getting off easy." She laughed and said, "It's fine. We're all classmates." She waved her hand and exclaimed, "Moonlight butterfly, holy radiance." A glowing blue wing appeared, fluttering around the wolf's body. I was amazed, saying, "You healed him so fast, and that's a gold rank skill." Loc Thien asked, "Could it be a moon-tier white moon butterfly? But isn't the white moon butterfly supposed to be completely extinct?" Nguyen Van gently explained, "This isn't a white moon butterfly, but a moonlight butterfly evolved from a green leaf worm." Loc Thien gasped, "A green leaf worm? Evolved?" She thought to herself, "Looks like there's a master behind all this." She told them, "After class, come see me at my office." In the office, Loc Thien said, "Just as you said, beast taming has infinite possibilities, whether it's a slime defeating a berserk wolf or a green leaf worm evolving into a moonlight butterfly." Nguyen Van nodded obediently. "That's exactly right." Loc Thien added, "None of this happens without exceptional training. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, a civilization existed that pushed beast taming to its absolute peak." Nian asked excitedly, "Is that really true?" She explained, "That civilization had a profession called breeder. Rumor has it that top-tier breeders could even train a loach into a great dragon." Nguyen Van exclaimed in awe, "That sounds too exaggerated." Nian laughed. "When you're free, come take the history course with me. It's all taught there," she continued. "It's a pity that because being a breeder requires so much talent, the profession has been lost." Nguyen Van pondered, "Could the true identity of that shop owner be a breeder?" Loc Thien asked in surprise. "The shop owner?" Nian replied, "The owner of the mythical pet shop. The slime and the green leaf worm that evolved were both bought from there." She said to herself, "It looks like I'll have to pay that place a visit." She suspected the master behind this must be that person. At the mythical pet shop, a luxury car pulled up. The door opened and Professor Loc Thien stepped out gracefully. She looked up at the sign, reading the striking words in front of her. She smiled and said, "This must be the place." Inside, Luc Vu was talking to the world-ending dragon. He said, "Not bad. The Crimson Flame Emperor bird has broken through to the 10th stage of the transcendent rank." The dragon replied unhappily, "One day, I will be stronger than her." Loc Thien stepped inside and called out, "Is the shop owner here?" The Crimson Flame Emperor bird suddenly swooped down, emitting a purple wave of power from its eyes. Loc Thien froze, unable to move, wondering in a panic, "What is this? Why can't I move my body?" Luc Vu approached and said softly, "I apologize for startling you. My pet hasn't fully learned to control the power of its new talent yet." She asked, "That overwhelming pressure, was that another type of talent?" Loc Thien realized she had been a bit rude, cleared her throat, and introduced herself. "Apologies, I am Lecturer Liu Loc Thien from the Demon Capital Beast Taming University." She asked warmly, "You are the owner of this shop, Luc Vu, right?" Loc Thien added, "Tham Nian and Du Nguyen Van are my students. They couldn't stop praising your shop, saying you have the most incredible pets here." Luc Vu replied modestly, "It's not all that much. It's not quite at that level." She hesitated, then asked, "If I may be so bold, are you a breeder?" He asked, puzzled. "A breeder," Luc Vu replied. "If that's what you think, then I suppose I can be that." He thought to himself, the system doesn't just have a shop, it also has a training module. Using the title of breeder in the future doesn't seem like a bad idea. Loc Thien was confused. At his answer, she stood there blankly, wondering, what is this guy trying to say? It's not if I think. It's do you actually have the ability? She sighed and consoled herself. I'm giving up on such an important secret. She knew he wouldn't easily reveal it to a stranger. Lacthian asked him, I still haven't contracted a fourth pet. Do you have any suitable young pets here? He felt happy, thinking to himself, looks like I've got a customer. Since you said so, why don't you start by telling me your requirements? Lacthian quickly stated her request. My talent is A-rank dragon wings, which can provide a massive boost to dragon-type creatures. Therefore, I want to form a bond with a beast that possesses a true dragon lineage. Lu Vu was surprised and asked, Dragon type? Are you related to the Lu family, one of the 3 great dragon-taming clans? She lowered her head, hesitating for a long time before she could finally whisper, That question of his had touched a painful memory. A man once angrily questioned her. As the only legitimate heir of the Lu family, how can you only have an A-rank talent? Back then, as a mere child, she could do nothing but silently endure the harsh insults. The 3 great dragon-taming clans, the Ko family has an S-rank dragon tamer. The 6 clans have emerged with an unprecedented SS-rank heir, while you are nothing but an A-rank failure. Lacthian replied, You're just buying a beast. Surely you don't need to verify all that, do you? Lu Vu rubbed his head, thinking to himself about the gossip of these great families. He awkwardly replied, I'm sorry, I don't have any beasts with dragon lineage here, before adding, but I do have a real dragon. Lacthian was stunned, unable to believe what she had just heard. She excitedly raised her voice. How is that possible? Everyone knows the 3 great clans have monopolized all dragon species. Don't try to fool me, he replied cheerfully. This shop has always prided itself on its reputation. This is my beast, the world-ending demon dragon. Even as a dragon species, it only considers those others as snacks. Lacthian was even more astonished. She murmured, A demon dragon species? That's a lineage comparable to a divine dragon. She softened her tone and said, All right, let me see it. Lu Vu was currently holding a small glass jar. She couldn't believe it, wondering to herself, a real dragon kept in this tiny jar? He opened the lid. Inside was a small fish flicking its tail. Lacthian stared wide-eyed and questioned, A real dragon? You said you had a dragon? And then you pull out a carp for a midnight snack? She asked angrily, Did you pick the wrong one? He calmly replied, No mistake. Lacthian was frustrated. No matter how I look at it, it's just a red carp like the ones they sell at the market for 20 yuan a kilo. Lu Vu didn't get angry at her words. He leaned in close and asked, Have you ever heard of a fish leaping over the dragon gate? Lacthian replied, You mean the greatest opportunity for dragon descendants? Whether it's a loach or a carp, as long as it crosses the dragon gate, it can transform into a dragon? He couldn't help but praise her. Not bad for a lecturer at the Madu Beast Taming University. She sighed helplessly. But that's just a legend. The Dragon Gate disappeared hundreds of thousands of years ago, he said confidently. What if I told you this fish could summon that ancient Dragon Gate? She still didn't believe him and retorted, That's just too absurd. As Lu Vu turned to walk away, saying, This shop never forces a sale. Feel free to look elsewhere, she suddenly called out. Wait, I'll take it. Lu Vu handed her the jar. Lacthian began the bonding process. With a surge of red energy, the fish leapt out of the jar. She chanted, Bond! Beast bond, carp! After reading the information, she finally exhaled with relief. I can't believe it's actually real, Lacthian said with a face full of gratitude. This is too powerful. She honestly bowed her head and said, I was presumptuous just now. Suddenly, her shirt strap snapped as she bowed. Lu Vu blushed with embarrassment and said, I didn't see anything. After a moment, Lacthian softly asked, Shopkeeper, can you help me with one more thing? She acted shyly and said, I have spare clothes in my car. Could you go out and get them for me? Upon hearing this, Lu Vu didn't hesitate at all and immediately ran outside, thinking, I'll go get them for you right away. At the same time, an imaginary scene flashed through Lu Vu's head where a reporter was saying, The owner of the Mythical Beast shop is suspected of cruelly swindling customers and has now been arrested. Leaning against the car and panting, he thought, Luckily I ran fast otherwise. If she had gotten worked up and called the police, I would have ended up like that, Lu Vu muttered to himself, then quickly opened the trunk to grab the clothes. This must be it. Immediately after, he grabbed the bag and ran back to the shop. A while later, once everything was settled, Lu Vu sat calmly behind the counter, sipping his tea. As he opened his eyes, he heard Lacthian whisper, Thank you, shopkeeper. Lu Vu stood up immediately and replied, "It's nothing. Do you have any ideas on how to cultivate the carp?" Lac Thien fell into deep thought. My previous 3 bonded beasts had metal, water, and wind attributes respectively. She looked up at him, expressing with great seriousness. "I want to try a new attribute for this one," Lac Thien said, and acted by saying, "Let's try this lightning-type essence crystal." As soon as she finished, she did not hesitate to drop the lightning crystal into the tank for the carp. As soon as it encountered the new energy source, it reacted immediately. She felt the aura radiating out and froze for a moment, then confirmed, "It's the Dragon Gate, so the legend is true." Just at that moment, the world-ending demon dragon suddenly appeared, making Lu Vu jump. He quickly regained his composure and gently warned it. "Behave yourself," Lac Thien exclaimed in surprise. "Why is the demon dragon reacting? Is something wrong?" Lu Vu rolled his eyes and said, "It's fine. Just focus on the cultivation." She replied, "Okay." Lac Thien began to focus on the training. A short while later, energy started spreading everywhere, making the surrounding space glow brilliantly. He raised his head and observed carefully. The Dragon Gate has stabilized. The carp just needs to jump over it to evolve. As soon as Lu Vu finished speaking, she said, "Go, carp!" It followed its instincts, obeyed the command, and created a bubble as a protective layer. The carp slowly left the water in the tank and then headed straight forward. As the carp approached, its entire body was suddenly blocked. Seeing this scene, Lac Thien was anxious. "Why did it stop? Is it going to fail?" He explained, "The Dragon Gate is formed by the carp's own talent. Since you have formed a bond with it, you need to help it as its master." Lac Thien replied, "I understand. Dragon Wing, enhance." Lu Vu heard this, and a flash of curiosity crossed his eyes. "Dragon Wing? I really underestimated her." Meanwhile, Lac Thien persisted in focusing her cultivation. "Come on, carp!" All the energy she released quickly merged into one point. Sensing the situation, it began to struggle violently. She began to use all her strength. "Carp, cross it!" It was truly a success beyond expectations. As Cam Lai passed through the gateway, she was halfway to the other side when Lac Thien immediately realized she had succeeded. She wore a satisfied smile and muttered, "My beast-taming talent seems to be evolving." Lu Vu turned to her and said that after she signed the contract with Cam Lai, they had become one. It successfully transformed into a dragon. So your talent will also be upgraded accordingly. Just as he said this, Lac Thien immediately felt something strange in both her mind and body. Her whole body was enveloped by a new source of energy. "Oh my God!" Lac Thien looked up at it and said loudly, "This is a Scarlet Lightning Flood Dragon." Immediately after, the system sounded a notification. "Scarlet Lightning Flood Dragon, Transcendent Grade, Stage 6. She still couldn't shake her doubt and spoke up. "Although the Scarlet Lightning Flood Dragon is very strong, it's not a true dragon species, is it?" He smiled. "I run a very reputable business. The Scarlet Lightning Flood Dragon is indeed not a true dragon species. It's a flood dragon species." Lu Vu moved closer to it. "The dragon clan has many branches. For example, there are true dragons that look like lizards, and there are flood dragons that look like snakes." Lac Thien also stepped forward and listened as he added, "If it can evolve to the overlord rank, it will also be a true dragon species." Lu Vu then smiled brightly. "Cam Lai plus providing the location for the dragon transformation. The friendly price is 5 million, card or cash." She quickly took out her card to pay, thinking to herself, "I have to leave right away, just in case the shop owner changes his mind." Once the business was finished, he called out, "All right, you can come out now." Lu Vu helplessly asked the world-ending demon dragon, "Because you saw the Dragon Gate, you want to evolve too?" It whispered, "Inside the Dragon Gate lies thousands of years of essence from both the East and the West. My dragon clan gains strength and new enlightenment from it." Suddenly, the world-ending demon dragon's eyes were filled with intensity. At the same time, he checked the new notification. The world-ending demon dragon was upgraded to the Holy Spirit rank Stage 1. Awakened Holy Dragon Talent, skill upgraded to Scarlet Grade. Lu Vu glanced at these lines and unconsciously curled his lips. Not bad. Not long. After, the sun set, leaving behind a desolate, dark night sky. Lac Thien put her hand on her forehead, thinking, "Today really felt like a dream. I can't believe I actually contracted a pure-blooded Dragon Clan member." As she was lost in thought, there was a knock on the door. So late? Who is it? As soon as Loc Thian opened the door, she couldn't help but be startled. Teacher? Why are you here? Tuong Quoc didn't rush to answer, but instead asked, I'm not interrupting your rest, am I? She replied warmly while signaling him. Of course not. Please, come in, teacher. He looked up and asked Loc Thian, How did your first class go today? She quickly replied, It went very well. Moreover, I discovered 2 geniuses that you might want to pay more attention to. Tuong Quoc raised his hand to stroke his beard. They seem like geniuses you want to hear about, Lac? Thian said. They are both first-year students. One is named Tom Niem Niem, and the other is Do Ngoc Van. They contracted special mature form beast pets. Their future cannot be underestimated. Hearing these words, he suddenly froze. Beast pets with special mature talents? Tuong Quoc said urgently. Any beast tamer who contracts such a beast pet with that kind of talent in the future will at least be a provincial governor or even a pillar of the nation. She shrugged casually and admitted, To be honest with you, teacher, I also contracted a new beast pet right at the shop, where they bought their pets. It was originally just a carp that hadn't reached the first awakening stage, but it has now evolved to monarch-grade potential. His hearing seemed unable to process another word, and he was completely stunned. What? Tuong Quoc immediately said in the low voice. Bring it out here for me to see immediately. Loc Thian didn't hesitate and summoned, Scarlet Lightning Flood Dragon, come out. Its eyes were filled with an aura as it looked straight at him. Tuong Quoc was astonished. This is a flood dragon species. It is said that they left this place long ago to head to the dragon realm. I didn't expect you to be able to contract one. He regained his composure. Wait a minute. You said all these beast pets with extraordinary talents were bought from the same pet shop? She answered honestly, That's right. Lac. Thian added, Moreover, the price was very low. I guess the shop owner isn't doing this to make money. Perhaps he wants to rule the world by creating generation after generation of genius beast tamers. Tuong Quoc heard this and found it hard to believe. Is there really such a thing? She wondered, Teacher, do you think in our current era there could be an SSS rank beast tamer? He immediately replied seriously, There isn't one yet. Tuong Quoc recounted that it is said the beast-taming civilization of the previous era was destroyed at the hands of an SSS rank powerhouse. He mused, If such a prodigy really appears again, it would be hard to tell if it's a blessing or a curse. Loc Thian was conflicted about whether she should tell her teacher the full extent of the shop owner's strength. She analyzed silently, What if the teacher sees him as an enemy of the state and detains him? The consequences would be unimaginable. Then Loc Thian smiled slightly. I suggest, you should let reliable young beast tamers go to the mythical pet shop to buy their beasts. She rolled her eyes. This was not only to maintain a relationship, but also a way to probe. Tuong Quoc heard this and immediately agreed, Then do as you say. Early the next morning, at the mythical pet shop, the system announced, Achievement, owning your first shop. You will receive a mysterious reward. Owning the first shop? Confirm. Loc Vu looked carefully at each line. Owning my first shop, then I get a reward. After reading this, he immediately took out his phone. This is too easy. With his current savings, buying this shop is more than enough. Loc Vu said to the other end of the line, Mr. Jiang, I am the one renting your shop. I now want to buy this property outright. The price is 17 million. Please consider it. He replied indifferently. No, it's too low. You wait for me to come over and negotiate. Loc Vu became serious. I have already investigated. The surrounding shops are at most 15 million. The price I offered has already exceeded the market rate. Boss Jiang curled his lips slightly. This kid is offering such a high price. He must be desperate to buy. Maybe I can squeeze him for even more. Thinking this, he sternly said, Cut the talk. Wait until I get there, then we'll talk. He hung up immediately, muttering in frustration, Greedy bastard. Outside, the usual hustle and bustle continued, but the two of them were no longer part of it, for they had stepped into a pet shop. Suddenly, Dongvyu turned to his younger brother and asked, Little brother, is this the legendary pet shop Grandpa was talking about? Why does it look so run down? No sooner had he finished speaking than he was scolded by Tae Vu. What do you know? A true expert hides their talent. Would they really care about appearances? Just then Loc Vu stepped out to greet them. What can I do for you two? Receiving Dongvu's reply, Buddy, we're here to buy some pets. Call your shop owner out here." Upon hearing this, his face went blank. "I am the owner." Hearing that, the kid was even more stunned. "So young? I thought you were just a college student working a part-time job." Before he could continue, he was cut off by Tae-vu. "Keep it down." In the end, Dong-vu decided to be honest to find a pet that suited him. "Owner, I won't hide it from you. Although we are grandsons of the principal of the Beast Taming University, our awakened talents aren't very good." Luke-vu saw the situation was a bit unsettled, but he kept adjusting the rhythm of the shop and said, "Tell me about them." Immediately after his words came the brother's confession. "Mine is grade B growth acceleration. It can only increase the growth rate of pets." Even Tae-vu chose to be honest. "I'm a bit better than him. My talent is grade B annihilation. It can give pets an innate shattering attack trait." Hearing just that, Luke-vu understood. So that was it. You guys don't need to feel inferior. Clients with growth acceleration talents can cultivate pets using the swarm strategy. Those words finally helped put Dong-vu at ease. "I've heard of that before. The swarm strategy. Wherever it goes, it sweeps everything away. It can destroy all enemies." After that, he turned to Tae-vu, helping him regain his spirit. "And as for this customer, you are suited to bond with pets that have extreme destructive power." However, he had already thought about this problem before. "I thought the same thing, but I haven't found a suitable pet yet." A moment later, Luke-vu placed an empty jar in front of the two, and even then he told them, "Then take these two." Dong-vu peered around the jar, full of questions. He thought his eyes were playing tricks on him, so he asked repeatedly, "These aren't baby pets, are they? Where are the pets that can form my swarm legion?" Even Tae-vu, standing next to him, started to get anxious. "Yeah, where are the pets?" Yet Luke-vu remained very calm, guiding the two. "Look closely. The baby pets are right here in this jar," leaving both of them questioning reality. After looking closely, they finally saw it. Ants? Dong-vu couldn't understand it no matter how hard he tried. It didn't look like a powerful pet at all. And Tae-vu had his own worries. Could these two ants have something special? Seeing this, Luke-vu explained in detail so they could understand. "That's right. These two ants have awakened a special growth talent called sculpting." Through his words, they were truly miraculous. You just need to provide the complete evolution path, and you can evolve it directly into whatever form you want. Furthermore, Luke-vu thoughtfully added some extra touches. "I've already fully unlocked the evolution path for both of you. You can take a look." Upon hearing this, the two wanted to try it out. When looking closely at his palm, Dong-vu was amazed. "Mine can evolve into an ant queen, giving birth to monarch-level units like demon ants, destroyer ants, and sky ants?" Even Tae-vu couldn't help but be surprised. "And mine can only evolve into heaven-slaying ants, possessing terrifying power that can tear the sky apart?" Because the deal was made as desired, they said in unison, "Owner, thank you so much." They only received his final instruction. "Train them well. That is the greatest reward for me." The moment the two left, Luke-vu was thrilled because all of this was arranged with purpose. In the not-so-distant future, the forces he had set in motion would become an existence that would shake the entire blue planet. Just as he was lost in these bright thoughts, the phone rang, pulling him back to reality. Knowing it was important, Luke-vu answered immediately. On the other end of the line, Boss Jiang was shouting loudly, "I'm already at the door. Come out and greet me right now." Then he heard him reply, "Just come in. I'm inside." Those words made the man fly into a rage. "I told you to come outside and greet me. Are you deaf? Do you still want to buy my shop or not?" Yet, Luke-vu decided to keep his firm stance. "I told you to come in yourself. I don't want to repeat it a second time." Boss Jiang was even more furious after being hung up on. "Luke-vu, you think I haven't investigated you?" As he walked, he muttered curses. "A guy who failed his university entrance exam, not even a beast tamer. Don't be ungrateful." But his feet kept walking into the shop. As he walked, he continued to curse at Dong-vu. "You want to buy this shop, right? Fine." Boss Jiang ignored the fact that Luke-vu had customers and shouted loudly, 30 million, not a single cent less." Dong-vu, seeing injustice, he couldn't hold back and spoke up. "You damn fat pig, are you crazy for money? This shop is worth 15 million at most." And yet he was so arrogant, claiming, "This is my shop. I can set whatever price I want." Boss Jiang boasted, raising his voice with a sneer. "If you can't afford it, get lost." Upon hearing that, Dongvu bristled with anger. Who gave you the guts to talk to shopkeeper Liu like that? Even Taevu couldn't stand it anymore. Shall we handle this for you? A guy like that isn't worth dirtying your hands over. Liu Vu just gave a cold, dismissive look and said, Don't make a scene and disturb the neighbors. Then he called out, Uncle Tran! But Boss Jiang, oblivious, was still talking tough. Call whoever you want, it won't matter. I'm a trained fighter. No one on this street has ever been able to beat me. The very next second, his face was slapped by reality as Uncle Tran grabbed him by the collar with just one hand. You have shown disrespect to my young master, he warned. After a moment, Uncle Tran dropped him to the ground and turned to the group. Young master, how should we deal with him? Hearing this, Taevu gave a crisp command. Teach him a lesson he'll never forget. Uncle Tran replied, Understood, as Boss Jiang struggled uselessly. Let me go, do you even know who I am? I have backing, you know. Before he could finish, Dongvu asked innocently, Backing? Have you ever heard of the Doan family? As soon as he heard that name, his face went deathly pale. The Doan family? The beast-taming clan that can summon wind and rain across the nation? He got his confirmation immediately. Taevu coldly waved his hand. Uncle Tran, take him away. Only then did Boss Jiang realize his mistake and scream for mercy. Please spare me! I was wrong, great masters! Just then, Taevu turned back to Liu Vu. If you want to buy this shop, why not leave it to us? Hearing that, Liu Vu finally felt a bit more at ease. All right, I'll leave it to you two then. Time passed until sunset. Liu Vu was busy when his phone suddenly pinged. It was a message from Taevu. After a friendly and amicable negotiation, with Mr. Jiang, he agreed to gift the shop to you. Here is the transfer contract. Just as Taevu sent it, the system popped up. Sign. Host has achieved. Own your first pet shop. It officially belongs to you now. And of course, Liu Vu received a little gift. A reward. World Core Crystal. His eyes lit up like stars. He'd hit the jackpot. The World Core Crystal was the highest grade resource in the Blue Star realm, capable of fusing with a beast-taming space. It could create a prototype world. Liu Vu understood better than anyone. A beastmaster with a world-form taming space was essentially at the demigod level. The system chimed in again. Host, you may begin refining the crystal to expand your space. Liu Vu quickly responded, Understood. Immediately, Liu Vu linked with it to open up a new space. Witnessing its vastness, he couldn't help but marvel. This is incredible. Liu Vu was completely immersed in his own rose-colored world. He could feel it. In this space, it was overflowing with incredibly powerful energy. A moment later, sunlight appeared above. As he observed, he thought to himself, this is the primordial form of a world. Suddenly, the shadow of the world-ending demon dragon appeared right beside him. Seeing it grow stronger by the second, his heart swelled with joy. The demon dragon had broken through 3 stages. It reached the star-sprouting level. Even the purple flame emperor bird was evolving continuously. It had broken through to the 2nd stage of the mysterious star level. The system praised him repeatedly. Congratulations, host. World-ending demon dragon has learned the Scarlet Star level skill. Dragon World Projection. Purple Flame Emperor Bird has learned the Scarlet Star level skill, Heavenly Flame Fall. Soon after, Liu Vu received more new skills. This was the detailed info on the Dragon World Projection skill, a Scarlet Star level skill that summons the image of the Dragon World to suppress opponents. The deeper one's understanding of the dragon race's origin, the stronger the summoned projection. If one could truly grasp the essence of the dragon, one could even completely command the dragon world itself. Liu Vu was even more delighted because he knew he was reaching the peak. To think a skill this powerful was only Scarlet Star level. He couldn't even imagine how strong the demon dragon would become later. A moment later, Liu Vu turned to the Purple Flame Emperor bird and checked its skill. Heavenly Flame Fall. A Scarlet Star level skill that can summon endless purple flames from the heavens to rain down upon the earth. At this point, he was secretly overjoyed. The power of the falling flames could rival legendary forbidden spells. It was absolutely not to be underestimated. Not long after, they returned to Liu Vu's pet shop. Suddenly, he narrowed his eyes. He sensed an unusual aura. Who's there? Right then, someone walked in from outside with a cane. It was none other than Don Tuong Quok. Shopkeeper Liu, he called out. Seeing a familiar face, Liu Wu brightened up. "Greetings, Principal Doan, what brings you here?" He held no malice toward the man in his heart. Just the fact that he let his grandchild come to his shop to buy pets showed that Doan Tuongkuk was a friend, not an enemy. However, no matter how hard Liu Wu thought about it, he couldn't figure out what the man wanted. From his observations, things weren't that simple. This shopkeeper Liu's eyes are filled with demonic intent, even more terrifying than any demon king I've ever met. And yet, his exterior is so calm and laid back, his demeanor incredibly gentle, not a hint of a devil in him. That was why Liu Wu knew this person wasn't ordinary. It seemed he was truly a master, hard to read. A man this capable must be brought over to the side of the nation, no matter what. Then, Tuongkuk spoke. "I came here today to find you." Liu Wu was very surprised. "You're here to buy a pet too?" But the old man gracefully declined. "No. After many years of high-intensity battles, my taming space is almost completely shattered. It cannot be restored. I can't sign a contract with a new beast anymore either." But those words left Liu Wu bewildered. "Principal Tuan, who told you that a shattered beast-taming space means you can no longer form contracts with beasts?" Meanwhile, Shanggu was also very curious to hear this. "Isn't that just common knowledge? It's even clearly stated in our high school textbooks." Suddenly realizing his own words might have been odd, he raised his voice instinctively. "Shopkeeper, are you saying you have a way?" Liu Wu replied with a faint smile. "Of course I have a way. It's just a shattered beast-taming space, that's all." Taking out a seed box from his storage space, Liu Wu held it out, inviting Principal Tuan to take a look. Shanggu focused his gaze, slowly analyzing it. "What is this?" He explained. "This is a seed of the lowest-grade plant-type beast, the verdant growth tree." Liu Wu added with a bright smile, "This seed has also awakened a special talent, sculpting. It can imprint any evolution path directly into its bloodline." Then he activated the box, and a small diagram appeared. Liu Wu said, "Please, take a look at the evolution path I specifically designed for you." After glancing at it, Shanggu blurted out in surprise, "Verdant growth tree, floating tree, void space tree, and it can even evolve into a void shocking giant tree?" He smiled and continued listing the advantages. "Once nurtured into a void shocking giant tree, it will help you suppress your shattered beast-taming space." He specially emphasized that everything you're worried about will cease to exist, leaving Shangguo stunned. I thought deeply, then replied with a heavy heart, "I appreciate your kindness, shopkeeper, but I don't need it." Shangguo refused, seemingly burdened by worries. "I don't plan on forming any more contracts with beasts," leaving Liu Wu quite surprised. He asked, "Why?" His heart was filled with frustration. He muttered to himself, "I already traded for the verdant growth tree and even directly embedded a special evolution path, and yet he says he doesn't want it?" Shanggu began to recount. "For 15 years, I have personally sent 9 beasts to the most dangerous battlefields between Xia and the other beast factions. I never once chose them." He continued, "Even if I could contract a beast and potentially change my fate, for the beasts that form a contract with me, it's just too cruel." Finally, Shanggu expressed his thought. "If this seed has such excellent potential, then young beast tamers are the best place for it to belong, aren't they?" Liu Wu thought to himself at this moment. "If it were anyone else pestering me like this, I would have kicked them out long ago. But for Principal Tuan, I really can't say anything harsh." Looking back at the past, he sacrificed too much for the strength of the Xia nation. 15 years ago, when the interdimensional gates opened, among the 6 great nations, Xia had the weakest strength, so it became the first to suffer the consequences. At the moment, the country was on the verge of destruction. With homes shattered, the Xia nation established 5 defense lines on the alien battlefield. In just 3 years, the first defense line collapsed, and the second line held for less than 2 years. The third line held for less than a year, and the fourth line fell in less than half a year. At the moment, the nation faced life or death peril. Every beast tamer could not avoid the summons to the alien battlefield. As the highest-ranking general of the Xia nation, Tuan Shangguo could not shirk his responsibility. Over these 15 years, he successively signed contracts with 10 monarch-level beasts, 9 of which died on the alien battlefield. 9 times the contract. The beast-taming bond was violently severed, causing Tuan Shangguo's beast-taming space to be destroyed beyond repair. It wasn't that he couldn't sign contracts with new beasts. It was just that any beast contracted could not survive in a shattered space. Even his last remaining beast is currently guarding the Maru Beast Taming University, having not returned to the beast taming space for 15 years. Returning to the present, Liu Wu thought. Faced with such a senior expert, I really can't bear to see him remain so downcast forever. He spoke up to comfort him, Principal. You don't need to blame yourself. The pressure on the front lines back then was truly immense. You had no other choice, right? Shanggu looked down at the floor and sighed in self-reproach. The alien battlefield is a place of 9 deaths and 1 life. I was lucky to survive and return, which is why I have the status I have today. He closed his eyes, saying sadly, but countless comrades sacrificed themselves, and soon no one will remember their names anymore. Liu Wu rubbed his chin in thought and added, Principal, the reason you feel regret right now. Ultimately, there is only one cause. Shanggu was very curious and listened intently. What cause? He smiled calmly and revealed it with one simple sentence. It's because you are not strong enough. Liu Wu explained his answer. If you were strong enough to make the alien races across the realms fear you, then the entire Xi nation would not need to endure any sacrifices. Hearing this, Shanggu could only stroke his beard and laugh. Not strong enough? I relied on my A-level beast-taming talent to reach the 10th stage monarch level as I am today, but I have long since exhausted my potential. There is no longer any hope of advancing. Liu Wu asked again, do you know that a beast-taming space possessing a void-shocking giant tree makes breaking through realms extremely simple? He revealed the key point. It can even absorb spatial energy from the void, actively helping to open up the beast-taming space. By that time, you can protect everyone you wish to protect. Hearing this, Shanggu was extremely surprised. He seemed enlightened by the young man and replied with a smile, I am old, and my thinking is not as thorough as yours. Immediately, Shanggu accepted the seed. Since that's the case, name your price, I'll buy it. Liu Wu happily handed over the box, a friendly price, 3 million. The system then sent a notification. Congratulations to the host for achieving the milestone of selling a total of 10 beasts. He smiled and switched to the welfare notification. Next, you have randomly received an SSS-level beast-taming talent, Divine Life Origin. The system explained the value of the reward. Under the power of the Divine Life Origin, all diseases, pain, and even death will disappear. This is the highest-level life-type talent. Shanggu then had an idea. He said, Shopkeeper, then I will follow your advice. First, let this seed evolve into a void-shocking giant tree. Then I will form a contract with it. Shanggu walked to the empty table and placed the box down. He began to channel energy into it and shouted, Evolve! Immediately, the seed in the box powerfully released its aura into Shangguo's beast-taming space, a place that was nothing but a desolate wasteland. Liu Wu stood there watching as Shangguo planted the seed in the barren land. The moment it was planted, the seed spread its aura across the entire land. Roots began to form, and the trunk grew rapidly. Once growth was complete, from a small seed, it had now become a full-grown, vibrant ancient tree, the void-shocking giant tree. Potential, 10th stage monarch. Shanggu was also quite surprised. He approached it. Has it evolved successfully already, just like that? A sovereign-level 10th rank potential is quite surprising. To think he advanced so quickly and has already successfully evolved. Tuongkuk placed his hand on the trunk and began the ritual to form a contract. Suddenly, the tree's roots stretched out, growing wildly, wrapping around even the small, scattered patches of soil nearby. Then, it pulled them in, merging them with the main plot of land. Tuongkuk stared in astonishment at the sheer power of the tree. His beast-taming dimension had truly been fixed. Lu Vu smiled happily and bowed in congratulation. Congratulations, Headmaster Doan. Now that the contract is complete, I should probably take my leave from your dimension. Suddenly, Tuongkuk looked like he had more to say. Shopkeeper Lu, wait. He paused, looking puzzled. Is there something else, Headmaster Doan? I then unexpectedly asked, Shopkeeper Lu, would you be interested in coming to the Maru Beast Taming University? At that moment, the image of Lu Vu's old application form flashed through his mind. 2 months ago, I was still just a candidate who failed the entrance exam. How much time has even passed since then? And yet the headmaster of Mado Beast Taming University is personally inviting me to enroll. Thinking for a moment, he replied frankly, Mado Beast Taming University is excellent, but I'm sorry I must decline. Lu Vu smiled and explained his choice. My pet shop is finally on the right track. Becoming a student now would conflict with my career plans. But Tungkwuk quickly interjected, Shopkeeper Lu, you've misunderstood. I'm not inviting you as a student, but rather, I want to invite you to take on a position as a professor. He continued, however, the title of professor requires going through some selection procedures. How about you start off as a lecturer first? Hearing about such a heavy position, Lu Vu thought it over carefully. A professor. To hold that title, one must at least be a monarch-level beast tamer. Seeing him go silent, Tungkwuk added, If Shopkeeper Lu doesn't agree, I'll go discuss with the other instructors to see if we can arrange to vacate a vice headmaster position for you. With full conviction, he added. Or I could resign directly to leave a spot open. After hearing that from Tungkwuk, he had to reconsider. To say he wasn't tempted would be a lie, but he also clearly understood the risks involved. In an instant, Lu Vu's mind became devious, calculating, but this is the official professor title for Mado Beast Taming University. With this status, do I even need to worry about not selling my pets anymore? Having decided, he agreed, I accept. However, the teaching schedule must not conflict with my pet shop business. Tungkwuk quickly agreed, that's no problem. He smiled expectantly and put a hand on his shoulder, saying, Once the official professor title is issued, you can even apply for state-funded scientific research grants. But Lu Vu's mind was currently filled only with money. A single research grant could be worth hundreds of millions, or even 10 billion. He started dreaming of lying on a pile of gold, plus performance bonuses and dividend shares. Mado Beast Taming University could pay me at least 10 million every month. Then he shifted his thoughts to the future. Not only that, Mado Beast Taming University has a library filled with countless secret skill manuals and exclusive secret realms. It really is top tier. Lu Vu continued his train of thought. I failed the entrance exam, and yet I've become a lecturer at a top-tier university. Fate is truly unpredictable. That evening at Mado University, Loc Thien stood leaning against the railing. She said to herself, The headmaster must have gone to see the shopkeeper. I wonder how it went. But then she was surprised by something. A point of light appeared at the school gate. It was the light of evolution. At that moment, Dongvu was sitting there, playing with an ant with his finger, while Taevu stood behind him, confused. What are you doing? The ant that Dongvu was focusing on emitted a surge of energy. He replied, Can't you tell? I want to fuse my innate talent with the queen ant. Dongvu smiled and continued, That way, no matter if it's me or the queen ant, our growth rate will be greatly enhanced. Taevu was extremely worried, saying, But if you fuse your innate talent with the queen ant, you won't be able to form contracts with other pets in the future. If the queen ant falls, you won't be a beast tamer anymore. Dongvu, on the contrary, smiled brightly and replied, If one day the queen ant fights to the death, then even if I'm no longer a beast tamer, so what? Watching from afar, Loc Thien heard those words and thought to herself, I really didn't expect that Dongvu, this seemingly slow child, would have such profound enlightenment. From a distance, a voice echoed, Good. You are indeed the grandson of Doan Tungkwuk. It startled her, and she looked over. It was Tungkwuk. He had returned with a radiant face. Seeing that, Loc Thien worriedly reminded him, Headmaster, please walk slowly. Take care of your body. Tungkwuk replied cheerfully, What's wrong with my body? Thanks to Shopkeeper Lu, I am now healthier than ever. She realized and asked, Has your beast-taming dimension recovered? Tungkwuk answered, Guess. That's right. Guess how he did it. Loc Thien then thought of various possibilities and replied, Did you take out some high-level resource that just happened to restore your dimension? But none of them were correct. Tungkwuk said, Wrong. He told me to form a contract with a tree. He showed them a giant tree living inside his beast-taming dimension. Tungkwuk explained, This is the space-suppressing great tree. It has merged with my shattered dimension. After some time, I have hope of returning to my peak period. He laughed and added, So everyone, there's no need to worry about me anymore. The lifespan of a monarch-level beast tamer is 500 years. I still have 300 years left. Seeing this, Loc Thien was incredibly relieved and praised, That is wonderful. Tungkwuk remembered and told them, Oh, right. I sent an invitation to shopkeeper Lu, inviting him to Mado University as a lecturer. You two will be colleagues from now on. She was even more joyful upon hearing that. Really? Both of his grandchildren were also very excited, saying in turn, the shopkeeper is going to be a lecturer? Then I must be his student. Me too. I want to attend his lectures too. The next day, Lu Wu was focusing his spiritual energy. Above his head, there were 3 rays of light in different colors. The world-destroying magic dragon and the purple flame emperor were both standing opposite, watching Lu Wu. He frowned, calculating in his mind. Lu Wu possessed 3 SSS-level beast-taming talents, usually used to mobilize power. Using source energy to nurture a beast is a huge waste, he thought while rubbing his chin. Perhaps he could learn from dragon masters who directly fuse their beast-taming talents with their beasts. Lu Wu looked at the world-ending demon dragon and calculated, thinking he could fully fuse it with the abyssal darkness to make it the king of the abyss. Then he turned to look at the Crimson Flame Emperor bird. Lu Wu considered another plan, fusing the Crimson Flame Emperor bird with the God-slaying Skyfire Emperor bird, allowing it to gradually master God-slaying power. He fell silent, but he still hadn't unlocked his 3rd talent. Which beast should he fuse? It was time to sign a contract with a new one. Right after that, he opened the info panel. He now had 1,200 points, even more than before, and Lu Wu happily said, "Doesn't that mean I can exchange for a beast even better than the demon dragon and the emperor bird?" The world-ending demon dragon and the Crimson Flame Emperor bird heard this and angrily protested. He searched while pondering, deciding that a plant-type beast would do. It would be more compatible with his life source talent and help stabilize his beast-taming space, he thought immediately after. The system interface appeared and stated, the plant-type beasts available for 1,200 points are as follows. She raised her hand toward the info panel and continued. The Spirit Mother Tree, the Divine Sacred Tree, the War Great Tree, and the Ancient Tree of Life. Lu Wu heard this and began to calculate. The Spirit Mother Tree matures to the Saint, 03 rank, and is the ancestor tree of the elf race. It can create an entire elven tribe if given a certain amount of resources. Thinking of this, he quickly shook his head. The elven race had already declined. Creating them wouldn't be very profitable. Lu Wu thought of another option, the Spirit Divine Tree, which also matures to the Saint 03 rank and can gradually restore spiritual energy to a planet. It could even gradually raise the rank of that planet, but unfortunately, it didn't have much to do with him. Lu Wu continued to weigh his options regarding the War Great Tree. It could create a massive number of war spirit trees and feed on the chaos of war. Suddenly, he shuddered. That was too cruel and didn't fit his upstanding gentleman persona. Lu Wu looked at the info panel again. The final option was the Ancient Tree of Life, which was innately compatible with his life law talent. He wondered where such a tree actually existed. A place where death is kept at bay and everything is brimming with vitality. Lu Wu decisively clicked the exchange button on the panel. It fits my 3rd talent quite well. Let's pick it. Right after, the system's voice rang out. You have exchanged for the Ancient Tree of Life beast. 1,200 points deducted, remaining balance is 0. As soon as the words were spoken, thousands of data points appeared before Lu Wu. In the blink of an eye, a seed appeared, radiating green spiritual energy. He marveled, as expected of the Ancient Tree of Life, even the seed carries such dense vitality. Lu Wu smiled and ordered, check the Ancient Tree of Life's talents. The system's info panel for the tree quickly appeared, including its attributes, rank, potential, and current status. He carefully read about this beast's talent. As long as a certain amount of resources are consumed, it can nurture creatures with attributes not higher than the Ancient Tree of Life itself. Does that mean it can sow beans to create soldiers? Lu Wu continued to research its first skill. The Ancient Tree of Life can accelerate the growth of any plant in an instant. Seeing this, he sighed in admiration. This Red Star level plant growth skill, is this basically a farming cheat code? He rubbed his chin in thought. Normally, silver and gold level spirit fruits in the trading market sell for hundreds of thousands, while diamond level spirit fruits are so expensive they're basically unaffordable. Lu Wu closed his eyes and dreamed. He could rely on this skill to ripen all kinds of spirit fruits. Just thinking about it was exciting. Lu Wu continued to examine the Ancient Tree of Life's second skill, Life Domain. It can create an area filled with vitality, and all wounds within this domain will be healed, he muttered. A healing skill is also quite useful. Luwa studied the third skill, ancient tree projection. The ancient tree of life can project itself outside the territory in any form. The projection can possess the full strength of the main body, he mused. A projection means the tree's avatar outside the beast-taming space also has combat power. Lu Wu looked at the info panel. The final skill was called star-slashing grass. It sounded quite imposing, but he wasn't sure about the specific effect. Before his eyes, the details of this skill appeared. Star-slashing grass can nurture symbiotic star-slashing plants. Over time, it can slash the sun, moon, and stars. Lu Wu read this and was stunned. It was no wonder it cost 1,200 points. It was too strong. He couldn't help but be amazed. Not only did it possess 4 skills right from the start, but it could also support, attack, and provide resources. Immediately after, Lu Wu reached out toward the ancient tree of life to form a contract. In an instant, a powerful surge of spiritual energy enveloped the seed, and soon, the contract was formed. A green light radiated from around the seed as 2 small leaves quickly sprouted. The light grew even more intense, and suddenly the seed rapidly developed into a large tree with lush, dense leaves. This was the ancient tree of life. Lu Wu's heart skipped a beat, and he looked on in confusion as he clenched his fist, his voice filled with clear surprise. I just broke through to the 10th rank of Phantasm Star not long ago, and now I'm already about to break through again? At that moment, a voice echoed, "Master!" Right after, a young girl appeared just above the canopy, surrounded by a layer of green radiance. Lu saw this and was shocked. Could this girl be the projection created by the ancient tree of life? The information quickly appeared. This was the tree avatar, possessing the full power of the ancient tree of life, and capable of entering and leaving the beast-taming space freely. Lu Wu quickly spoke up. "Are you the ancient tree of life?" The girl flew down before him and confirmed, "That's right." Right after, the girl introduced herself. "Master, you can call me An Wu." Lu Wu looked at her and asked in doubt, "An Wu?" An Wu reached out her pinky and said to him, "Master, please hold out your finger." Lu Wu did as the little girl asked. A blue thread of spiritual energy appeared and wrapped around both of their fingers. He wondered, is this some kind of special contract? An Wu held up her finger, smiling as she said, "I'll take this aura. If you're ever in danger, Master, I can use it to resurrect you." Lu Wu was taken aback and asked, "You can resurrect me?" She confirmed, "Yes, but I won't be able to restore your 3 SSS rank beast-taming talents." An Wu continued worriedly, "If I resurrect you, you might just come back as an ordinary person." He fell silent, thinking, if I can't be resurrected with my 3 SSS rank talents, then I'd rather not come back at all. He let out a bitter laugh at the thought. "After all, I guess you could consider this buying insurance for myself," he reasoned. Immediately after, he ruffled her hair and said, "All right, An Wu, get used to your current powers for now. Tomorrow, I'll get you some spirit plant seeds to speed up their growth and nurture them." An Wu replied happily, "As you wish, Master." Lu Wu waved goodbye to her. "I'm heading out now." As he turned to leave, An Wu suddenly tugged at his sleeve, stammering, "Master, I want my main body to stay in the beast-taming space. Is it okay if I keep a clone with you on the outside instead?" Contrary to An Wu's worries, he nonchalantly agreed, "Of course, that's fine. You've already merged with the beast-taming space, haven't you? With your abilities, you can come and go as you please." She looked at him shyly. "That's such a relief. My living habits probably aren't the same as yours. I was worried you wouldn't agree." He was stunned, thinking, what does she mean by living habits? Night fell, and moonlight streamed into his room. Just as he was deep in sleep, he felt something crawl under his covers. Lu Wu woke up instantly, opened the blankets, and saw An Wu. I was shocked, but soon understood what she meant earlier. He stiffened, staring at An Wu lying right next to him. So this is what she meant. She explained shyly, "Master, I've been all alone as a seed for thousands upon thousands of years. I've just been so incredibly lonely." An Wu pleaded anxiously, "I won't cause any trouble, please don't chase me away." Lu Wu softened, patting her head to reassure her, "Don't worry, I won't kick you out. You won't have to be lonely anymore." An Wu happily placed her hand on his chest and nodded, understanding. The next morning, the sun rose high and the warming sunlight filled the room. An Wu was clinging tightly to his neck, her legs draped over his chest, making him pale and breathless. A moment later, Lu Wu's eyes snapped open, bloodshot from lack of sleep. He pulled up her cloak, unable to take it anymore, and immediately lifted Onvu up while she was still sound asleep, waking her in the process. He carried her out of bed as she squirmed. "Master, what are you doing?" He tossed her onto the sofa, making her yelp. Lukvu scolded angrily. "Onvu, didn't I tell you not to move around? I almost suffocated to death." She sat up properly, sticking her tongue out playfully. "I just hugged you too tight in my sleep. I'm sorry." Afterward, she promised, "Master, don't be mad. I won't do it again." He nodded generously. "Fine, I'm not mad. Let's go to the space and see how the ancient tree is doing. How is it growing?" Seeing him compromise, she hopped up happily. "Okay." Lukvu suddenly felt a massive headache. Am I really contracted to a plant-type beast? Or am I raising a little daughter? When they arrived, several slicing spirit grass were swaying beneath the roots of the life-ancient tree. Lukvu rubbed his chin, thinking, and Vu was born with 10 stalks of slicing spirit grass, and all of them have been nurtured to the 10th stage of the transcendent realm. He calculated, if the life-ancient tree advances, these slicing spirit grass will break through as well. Lukvu couldn't help but think, who said the life-ancient tree has no combat power? Just these symbiotic slicing spirit grass alone are already terrifyingly powerful. He looked up at the ancient tree and muttered, even a magic dragon or an imperial eagle wouldn't dare say they'd definitely win. As soon as he said that, a group of vines rapidly grew and stretched out. They surged as if competing to grow, becoming massive. Lukvu watched, delighted. This is the Heaven Star Vine, capable of binding all things. Anvu turned to him worriedly. Master, at my current level, I can only produce platinum-grade spirit plant seeds at most. If I want to produce higher-grade seeds, it will take much more time. Lukvu patted her head as he replied, It's fine. Platinum, diamond, purple gold, or scarlet gold seeds, I can just buy those directly. He added lightheartedly, Why wear yourself out when you can just solve things with money? As they turned to leave, he said, Let's go. I'll take you out for a stroll and take care of the seed problem while we're at it. Soon, they arrived at a bustling shopping district. She stuck close to him, glancing around in curiosity. Lukvu stood in front of a shop and sighed. No wonder it's Mado. They have everything. And Vu looked up at him. Master, there are so many people here. Lukvu reminded her. Stay close, don't get lost. A moment later, he led her to a shop filled with various plants. Lukvu checked the prices and thought, these seeds are actually quite cheap. But the price of well-grown seedlings can reach millions. The difference is massive, he mused. But planting seeds isn't easy. The survival rate is incredibly low. A second later, he smirked confidently. But with the power of the life-ancient tree, why would I ever need to worry about survival rates? Thinking that, he quickly told the shopkeeper, Boss, I want 1,000 seeds each of the yin abyss grass, spirit-draining fruit, scarlet flame flower, and white fire flower. He added a few more items to the list. Also, give me 100 seeds of the hell tree and purgatory tree. The shopkeeper, hearing his request, happily replied, Right away, sir. Please wait a moment. Very quickly, the man brought the bag to Luvu. The shopkeeper said professionally, The total comes to 32,100,000, but I'll round it down to 32 million. He nodded, indicating he understood. That's right. I heard that consultants from Mado University get a discount, right? Hearing this, the man quickly replied, That's correct. Please present your identification. The store's system will confirm your discount amount. As Luvu handed over his documents, he said, All right, shopkeeper. The man turned to grab the ID card and looked it up on his computer. Immediately, his information appeared on the screen. The shopkeeper couldn't help but be stunned, his voice full of excitement. 50%? This? Are you an official professor at Mado University? You're already an official professor at such a young age? The shopkeeper sighed, looking at Luvu. A teenage genius. And Vu heard this and proudly replied, That's obvious. My master is the best. He calmly handed his bank card to the man. Swipe it. Luvu happily picked up his bag of items. He didn't expect the principal to give him such great benefits. Appointed as an official teacher that's so powerful and fast. At the same time, Anvu suddenly noticed something. She tugged on Luvu's coat and pointed in one direction. Master, I can sense a rare amethyst-rank spiritual plant seed. Hearing this, he was extremely surprised. Envu walked toward the spot where she sensed it and said, It must be over here. The little girl happily looked at the seeds in her palm. Found it. And Vu turned to ask the shopkeeper, "Boss, how much for these 5 seeds?" The man looked at the seeds in An Vu's palm. He then asked the little girl seriously, "These seeds have absolutely no chance of survival. Are you sure you want to buy them?" An Vu smiled and nodded, confirming, "I'm sure." The shopkeeper scratched his beard and frowned, calculating. "Even though these are seeds of the void attribute spiritual fruit tree, of the amethyst rank, they are completely withered. I was just about to throw them away." He silently stared at the little girl's palm. Then the shopkeeper generously said, "It's fine, I'll give them to you." An Vu was delighted and replied, "That's great! Thank you, boss." Lu Vu, standing behind them, had heard the whole conversation and clenched his fists in excitement. These 5 seeds have a value equivalent to diamond rank resources. Getting them for $0? That's a steal. After buying everything they needed, the two returned to the original spot near the ancient tree of life. He planted the seeds he had just bought. The next step was to plant all of them in the soil. In the blink of an eye, the seeds had sprouted and grown into various types of trees. Lu Vu and An Vu happily looked at the plants before them. Relying on the ancient tree of life's abilities, these spiritual plants wouldn't take long to be ready for harvest. He sat down, touched the branches below, and said, "When it's time to harvest, I'll have an additional source of income. More importantly, the resources to nurture the world-ending demon. Dragon and the violet flame emperor bird will no longer be a concern." Just then, a voice rang out, catching Lu Vu's attention. "Is someone there?" He couldn't help but wonder, "Do I have a customer?" Scene shifts to Lu Vu's shop. Little Black just walked into the shop, worriedly thinking. He had barely awakened his beast-taming talent, and dark circles were clearly visible under his eyes. Little Black's appearance showed he hadn't slept for many nights. He thought to himself, as if gambling everything, "If there's a pet beast that I cherish, I wouldn't regret even selling my house back home." Lu Vu quickly stepped out and happily welcomed him. "Welcome," Little Black asked suspiciously. "Are you the owner of this shop?" Lu Vu greeted the young man standing in front of him with a smile. "That's right. How can I help you?" It was Little Black. He began to explain his problem. "I've awakened a C-rank spirit wood beast taming talent. I want to form a contract with a plant type or a life type pet beast. Do you have any?" Lu Vu happily replied, "Of course." He conjured a spirit box containing a sapling inside. Little Black walked closer, looking excited. "Really?" He looked at the vase in Lu Vu's hand and roared angrily, "What the hell is this? Do you really think I'm that ignorant? This is clearly just a very ordinary willow sapling. How can this be considered a plant-type pet beast?" Lu Vu wasn't pleased hearing this. He explained seriously, "This sapling has awakened a special growth talent. It can perform blood refining. It can refine the blood of different creatures, thereby finding the path to the most perfect evolution." Little Black crossed his arms in disdain. "A special growth talent? I've never heard of such a thing." Lu Vu seemed to lose patience. "Customer, I don't have time to teach you. This willow tree costs 3 million. If you're not buying, please leave." Hearing this, Little Black got angry. 3 million? A scam. You're clearly scamming customers. I'm going to report you to the Beast Tamer Association. Suddenly, the world-ending demon dragon appeared and roared at the scowling Little Black, startling him. He stepped back and screamed, "Even using threats won't work!" He ran away, shouting back as he fled, "Just you wait." Seeing this, Lu Vu grumbled in contempt to the world-ending demon dragon, "Someone who can't recognize a good thing." He looked annoyed, hugged the spirit box to his chest, and said, "I hope this plant-type sapling won't rot in the hands of this thing." Lu Vu opened the lid of the spirit box. The time limit the system gave him was 1 week. If there were no customers in these few days... Saying that, Lu Vu picked up the small red vial and admired it. Then he tried pouring the liquid inside into the newly planted pot and said, "Then I'll just have to go ask Principal Don or La TNVM." Around the willow tree, red energy swirled. It seemed the willow tree had absorbed it very well. Lu Vu saw this and secretly marveled, "This willow tree will become something great in the future." Scene shifts to the Beast Tamer Association Tower. Inside a room, Little Black was shouting angrily at an employee, "I want to report using my real name." The female employee replied, "Sir, who do you want to report?" He spoke with great intensity. "Reporting a shop for price gouging, selling goods at prices not according to the standards set by the association, and having a terrible attitude toward customers." The employee. The professional staff member hands him a form and says, "Please fill this out first, then take a seat in the waiting area." He takes the paper and wears a sly grin, thinking, "Just you wait. I'll make sure that shop gets shut down for good." At the management office, an employee walks in and says, "Manager," then begins reporting to Laknam. "Manager, someone wants to file a complaint, but looking at the name of this shop, isn't it?" Laknam takes the paper and catches sight of the name, Mythical Pet Shop. With a serious expression, he says, "Just yesterday, the Dean of the Beast Taming University personally gave instructions that the association must show extra care and support for this shop." Suddenly, Laknam's face turns to one of shock. He blurts out, "Wait, is it really this shop? They say it's the highest quality shop in all of Mado. We were specifically ordered to prioritize and support them." He slams his hand on the desk, stands up and shouts, "Who is the blind idiot trying to cause trouble for me?" He walks outside toward where Tuhak is sitting. He approaches him and initiates the conversation. "Greetings, sir. Are you the one who wants to report the mythical pet shop?" Hearing this, Tuhak feigns indignation. "Reporting them? Yes, you guys need to handle this immediately. Don't let a shop that scams people like this continue to warp the market." Laknam pulls a stern face and voices his stance. "But I just checked, and the condition of the pets and the shop's reputation are both excellent. Even the dean of the Mado Beast Taming University had nothing but praise." He speaks to Tuhak with a cold, grave tone. "Are you framing them?" Tuhak is blindsided by his attitude. "What?" He looks flustered and says weakly, I must have been mistaken. Forget it, just cancel the report." Laknam speaks strictly, pointing at Tuhak. "According to regulations, slandering others is punishable by 3 days of detention. Since this is your first offense, I'll let you off with a warning this time. But if you do this again, you will be dealt with severely." Tuhak stammers an apology. "Yes, I won't do it again." He then runs away. Laknam ponders, the mythical pet shop. To think the dean would hold them in such high regard. My son recently awakened his beast-taming talent. It seems like it might be worth a visit. In Mado, a city that feels peaceful with its gentle sunlight and lush green leaves, Tuthan is walking down the street, feeling down, dragging her suitcase behind her. She laments to herself, "I really am such a failure. I'm clearly an adult now, yet I can't do anything right." She continues to wallow in her self-pity. Failed the college entrance exam, didn't awaken any talent, and the money I made from working all summer was taken by my stepmother. Tuthan recalls her stepmother's harsh words. "I raised you. Do you have any idea how much effort that took? You only made that much money working? How are you supposed to pay me back?" At that moment, her face looks both conflicted and desperate as she gazes up at her stepmother. She stands alone on the wide, sprawling road. Tuthan's expression holds a hint of regret. She thinks, "Before I leave, I really wanted to visit the Mado Beast Taming University just once." Suddenly, a security guard spots her and shouts aggressively, "If you aren't a student here, you can't enter," Tuthan says nervously. "I'm sorry, I'm leaving right away." Tuthan grabs her suitcase and turns away, crushed. "I couldn't even fulfill this simple wish. As expected, I'm truly useless." She passes by Six Vu's shop. Suddenly, a small plant catches her attention. She looks up at the shop sign, her face showing surprise. "Huh?" Then, Tuthan's focus drifts back to the small plant. She wonders, why? It feels like I'm sensing some kind of invisible resonance. Six Vu seems unaware of the situation outside. He lies on the sofa, sighing dejectedly. Promoting this plant-type pet has scared away quite a few customers over the past 2 days. After all, what kind of family would dare to buy a willow sapling for 3 million? He holds his head, frustrated. Could it really be that I have to let it go? Wouldn't that be a massive loss? 6. Vu walks outside listlessly and suddenly sees a girl checking out his little plant. He approaches her. Tuthan is still focused on the plant, marveling to herself. A plant-type pet, truly rare. She looks at the pitiful little plant and says, "Does no one want you?" Tuthan is surprised to see the willow tree move as if responding to her. "You can understand me?" Six Vu sees this and smiles. "Beautiful lady, do you like it?" Tuthan quickly waves her hand in denial. "I was just looking, that's all." Six Vu generously offers, "I'm the owner of this shop. I can make an exception and let you touch it for a moment." Hearing this, Tuthan looks surprised and joyful. Really? Tuthan gently touches the willow leaf with her finger. After being touched by her, the willow tree seems to receive a special burst of energy and becomes vibrant and healthy. Tuthan cannot hide her excitement. Her face brightens as she thinks, the vague resonance from before. It feels much clearer now. Seeing this, Six-View marvels. She seems to have a high compatibility with this willow sapling. He leans down toward the willow and asks Tuthan, "Is it conveying some kind of information to you?" Tuthan replies, "It said it wants to be one with me." Six-View is excited, thinking, "Looks like I wasn't wrong. She is the most suitable owner for this sapling." He points calmly at the willow and tells Tuthan, "Try feeding it a drop of your blood." Tuthan is flustered and waves her hands to refuse. "No, if I contaminate it with human blood, it won't sell anymore." Six-View smiles, his expression generous. "I'm the boss, I make the call, just try it." Tuthan responds shyly, "Well, all right then." She brings her finger to her mouth and bites down hard on the tip. A drop of bright red blood drips onto the willow. The willow sways its leaves slightly, as if absorbing her blood. Seeing the willow like this, Tuthan cheers happily. "It's growing!" Six-View sees this and says, "My dear customer, you and this sapling are really destined to be together. Why not consider buying it?" Shoting sounded a bit flustered and shy. I don't have any money on me. Besides, I haven't awakened my beast-taming talent, so I can't form a contract with a pet." Lu Wu didn't seem to mind. Unbothered by what she had just said, he replied, "Money isn't the problem. But are you truly certain that you don't have any talent?" She nodded, looking certain. Suddenly, a drop of red blood detached from the willow tree and floated in the air. It flew straight toward Xiaoqing, leaving her startled and thinking, "What on earth?" Then, as if a surge of immense energy had shot straight into her body, she couldn't hide her shock, thinking, "No way! I've awakened an S-rank beast-taming talent? Is this the immortal origin blood?" Xiaoqing's face flushed as she spoke. Lu Wu looked at her and smiled gently. "You've awakened your talent, haven't you?" The next second, he suddenly placed a hand on her shoulder and continued, "It's precisely because you received the recognition of this sapling that it helped you temper your bloodline. Surely you don't want to let down this expectation, do you?" Xiaoqing gently pushed his hand away. "This is the first time I've ever been recognized and expected to do something." She pointed to the side and said, "Shop owner, I want to form a contract with it." Xiaoqing took out a few bills and handed them over. "But this is all the money I have on me." Lu Wu quickly changed his expression, looking a bit awkward. "Didn't I say already? Money is not an issue. The price of this sapling is 3 million. I can lend it to you first." Hearing that, Xiaoqing jumped in shock. 3 million? That's way too much. How could I ever pay that back? Lu Wu casually set a condition. "In that case, work at my shop. It just so happens I need a shop assistant. Are you interested in applying?" Unexpectedly, Xiaoqing agreed immediately. "I'm willing. Whatever you tell me to do, I'll do it. I'm a very hard worker." Hearing this, Lu Wu gave a thumbs up, signaling his approval. "It's settled then. From now on, you are an employee of the Mythical Pet Shop." Suddenly, the system spoke up. "Congratulations to the host for achieving the milestone of owning your first official employee. Reward: a random set of Scarlet Star grade resources. Do you wish to claim them immediately?" Without hesitation, Lu Wu quickly replied, "Claim!" The system brought up a notification board and said, "Congratulations to the host for receiving the Scarlet Star grade resource, True Dragon Origin Blood. By using it, any pet can directly evolve into a true dragon species." Lu Wu fell silent, thinking to himself, "True Dragon Origin Blood. There's never been a prop with such an effect sold on the market. I remember it only existed in legends." The next second, he thought of the Divine Dragon. It was said that the Divine Dragon of the Xia Kingdom only broke through the limits of the divine dragon species after consuming a drop of origin blood, helping the Xia Kingdom become one of the 6 great nations. As he thought about this, he immediately considered, the Scarlet Thunder Jiao Dragon. If I let the world-ending demon dragon use it, I'm afraid it would reach an unimaginable realm. Suddenly, Xiaoqing's voice cut through his thoughts. "Shop owner, what should I do now?" Lu Wu quickly assigned her a task. "Go buy some things to cook dinner. You'll be staying at the shop. If you sell any pets, you'll get a commission too." Xiaoqing didn't hesitate and agreed. "Okay." After that, she left the shop, singing as she walked. An Yu appeared beside Lu Wu. The young girl lifted a teapot and smiled. Last time you helped me process the tender leaves of the heavenly star into tea. Quickly, try it and see how it tastes. After saying that, she quickly poured a cup and offered it to him. Lu Wu solemnly lifted it to his lips to taste. He closed his eyes and began to savor it. The tender leaves contained spiritual energy. It really did have a unique flavor. In front of it, every type of famous tea, no matter how high-end, was only worthy of coming second. Outside, the comfortable atmosphere made one easily drift into sleep. Just then, Xiao Qing stepped in with a bag in her hand. "I'm back!" Lu Wu was sitting there enjoying a massage and replied, "Thanks for the hard work. Put the items in the back." Suddenly, Xiao Qing's face went blank for a few seconds. "Shop owner, who is this girl?" Lu Wu happily replied, "She is one of my pets. Her name is An Yu. You can just call her sister An Yu." Having said that, he glanced toward An Yu, thinking, even though An Yu looks young, she is a 1,000-year-old ancient tree anyway. Calling her sister probably won't be a problem, right? Xiao Qing couldn't hide her emotions upon hearing this. There are even human-shaped pets? How adorable. Lu Wu cuffed a few times. Tomorrow I have to go to Mado Beast Taming University to lecture. I'll leave the shop in the hands of you two. Hearing this, Xiao Qing couldn't help but be curious. You're so young, yet you're already a lecturer at a beast taming university? I couldn't even get through the gate today. Afterwards, she said with great determination, "Shop owner, don't worry. I will look after the shop properly." Scene change. At night, Lu Wu sat on his bed and opened the large screen. Teaching others, it would be a lie to say he wasn't nervous. First, I'd better prepare a little. He intently looked at each skill and judged them. Memory inheritance of the Spirit Mother Tree. Saint Spirit Grade Beast Tamer Inheritance. 7-star Breeder Inheritance. The final skill caught Lu Wu's attention. No way! The memory inheritance of a 7-star breeder can be bought for just 300 points? Without hesitation, he clicked the button to exchange for that skill. Suddenly, the system popped up. You have redeemed the level 7 Beast Trainer Inheritance. 300 points deducted, 0 points remaining. As soon as it finished, the system injected the skill into Lu Wu's body. As it began to fuse with his body, he felt a rapid transformation from strange, glowing green characters. Suddenly, a flood of memories surged into his mind. This inheritance had actually come from the Beast Trainer era. Images flashed before his eyes. Academies specifically designed to nurture talent. Lu Wu looked at the laboratory, pondering, the God Creation Project, what on earth is that? In the center of the dark zone stood a massive experimental pillar. It seemed to harbor an immense source of power. A moment later, his memories showed a computer screen displaying the results. God Creation Project success. Lu Wu looked at the unidentified figure in the image and realized it was a demon god. The demon god's eyes widened, followed by a massive explosion that reached far and wide, causing several skyscrapers to crumble and vanish into clouds of dust. Lu Wu was left in total shock by the lingering memories. So, the previous era actually cultivated a true demon god? Could it be the progenitor god of the current demon realm? Lu Wu felt utterly exhausted and collapsed onto his bed. Just one gaze alone was enough to make anyone shiver in fear. That is the true posture of a champion. He closed his eyes and calmly thought, looks like I still have a long, long way to go. Cut to the next day at the shop. Lu Wu waved at An Wu, saying, "We're heading out now. The shop is in your hands." Shoti replied cheerfully, "Yes, sir." Lu Wu stood on the sidewalk and called out, "Demon Dragon, come on out!" Instantly, the demon dragon appeared, circling in midair. It showed off its might, the powerful wind blowing, Shoking's skirt, as she looked up and said, "To be able to summon such a powerful pet, the boss is truly impressive." Cut to a certain university. Outside the hallway, students were whispering non-stop. A shocking rumor. Shoubai leaned against Luo Hong and said, "Did you hear? An 18-year-old professor is taking office today." Shouhua remarked with admiration, "He's already a lecturer at such a young age?" Shoubai retorted, "That's not all. I heard this lecturer was personally appointed by the principal." Luo Hong looked unimpressed. He's probably just here to coast by and make a living. Cut to Mo Rong entering Lo Can's office. "A new young lecturer arrived today, did you know? In my opinion, he probably has no real skills. Most likely someone who got in through connections." Luo Qian stopped writing and replied, "I know him. He is both exceptional and young. In the younger generation of the entire blue planet, I doubt there is anyone more capable. Mo Rong's face went pale, his heart churning. What? Liu Lezhan had always been arrogant. She had never spoken so highly of anyone before. Before he could finish, he did a complete about-face. If you say so, then I must attend this open lecture to learn a thing or two. As Mo Rong was about to leave, Luo Qian called out, Oh, and by the way, when you're there, don't call me Luo Qian. I'm afraid he might misunderstand. Mo Rong couldn't swallow that, his expression souring. Just what kind of brat is he that this cold, unreachable flower is so obsessed with him? Meanwhile, the hallway was buzzing. Someone's voice echoed, Hey guys, this new young lecturer is the talk of the town. Sholan leaned in and whispered, Lu Huge, aren't you curious about how talented this young lecturer really is? He's 18, just like us, you know. Lu Hu scoffed coldly and set his book down. I have no interest in the abilities of ordinary people, Sholan brushed it off. That's true. Lu Huge awakened 2 S-rank talents at the age of 6. At 8, you became a transcendent-level dragon master and signed contracts with 2 great dragon species. He put a hand on Lu Hu's shoulder. A peerless genius like you wouldn't care about the open lecture of some random lecturer, would you? Lu Hu suddenly turned his head, looking visibly annoyed. Is there something else? Lu Solan quickly backed away. No, I'll get going then. Left alone, Lu Hu didn't reply. He gently opened his book, reading every word. The dragon tongue magic of the previous era is sealed in this ancient text. But why am I still unable to channel the power of the dragon tongue magic? Cut to the open lecture hall. The students quickly settled into their seats. Shou Huang looked ecstatic. This is an incredible scale. They even opened the large lecture hall. Only senior professors are allowed to use this. Shou Huang glanced over at Nin Nin and Rot Yun chatting. Even Shen Nin Nin and Du Rot Yun are here to attend. Then his eyes swept across the room and landed on Tian Yan. That's the head of the Luo family, Luo Tian Yan, Shou Huang kept scanning. And the principal's grandson, Duan. Suddenly, Shou Huang got excited and pointed to Luo Hong. Look over there, behind Teacher Liu. Isn't that Senior Luo Hang, the top student of the 3rd year? Shou Ping sighed helplessly. In terms of ability, Senior Luo Hang would only qualify to be a lecturer after he graduates. Nearby, Yu Fai looked on with jealousy. I can't believe that girl who mocked me in Lu Wu's shop is also a student at the Beast Taming University. No wonder she was so arrogant. Suddenly, a Khan walked up. What's wrong, Yefei? Are you not feeling well? Should I take you back to the dorm? Yefei turned away haughtily. I don't need you to worry about me. Suddenly, Shou Huang stood up and pointed at the door. The lecturer is here. Lu Wu walked in slowly with an air of complete confidence. Shou Ping's eyes widened in awe. Why does he look so handsome? In contrast, Yefei was utterly stunned. Lu Wu, is that really him? Lu Wu stepped up to the podium. Sorry, everyone, I was stuck in traffic, so I'm a bit late. My name is Lu Wu, and I am the primary instructor for the Beast Nurturing course. Then, he said enthusiastically, If any of you are interested, feel free to sign up for this class. Suddenly, Thien VM raised his hand high. 6 seniors, I want to sign up. Seeing this, Nim Nim and Nuokvan also chimed in. Me too, count me in. Dongvu and Taevu said in unison, Don't forget us. As soon as they finished, Luke Vu spoke up. For now, we're limiting it to 5 spots. After all, I don't have much experience yet. Other students who want to enroll can wait for the next round of admissions, Lok Tien said, looking at the others and offering her opinion. Teacher Luck, I'm very interested in your course as well. Would it be possible to sit in on your lectures? Tu Huang was stunned, nearly shouting. Are you kidding me? Miss Liu is the star pupil of the notoriously cold Principal Doan, and she's actually volunteering to attend someone else's class? Luke Vu looked down from the podium toward Lok Tien and replied, As long as Miss Liu is interested, you are always welcome. Lok Tien shyly covered her mouth and laughed. Thank you, Teacher Luke. Suddenly, Lak Hang stood up, furious. Enough! What Teacher Luck? What pet nurturing? Isn't this all just based on connections? How could the Magic City Beast Taming University harbor someone like this? Luke Vu looked at him with a serious expression. This classmate, you think I got into this position because of connections, right? Without showing any respect, Lak Hang went on a rant. Isn't it obvious? In terms of cultivation level, you're not even equal to me, or even the top freshman this year, Luke Hook. He's stronger than you, too. Luke Vu listened, then confidently retorted, As for Luke Hook, he's not even worth comparing to me. Besides, you're actually using cultivation level as the standard? That's truly short-sighted. Lak Hang, standing below with one hand in his pocket, stubbornly retorted, "Anyone can brag. If you've got real talent, then show it." Just then, Luk Vu stepped off the podium. He quickly conjured a purple flame in his hand. "This is a spark from a pet I've formed a contract with." He then looked down at the crowd, challenging them. "If anyone doubts my strength, feel free to come up and try. You only need to withstand this flame for 3 seconds and I'll leave immediately." Tubok sat below, eyes wide with astonishment. He's claiming to suppress everyone with just a single spark from his pet? Tu Huang rested her chin on her hand and muttered, "He's only at the Star Bloom stage, grade 10. How strong could his pet even be?" Suddenly, Thien Vim seemed to realize something. "Wait, that's not right. That's Purple Flame. Could it be the legendary most powerful spirit fire?" The Kang pushed everyone aside, arrogant and overconfident. He strode toward Luk Vu. "Let me try." He summoned a shimmering gold sword. A second later, a suit of armor encased his body. Luk Vu looked at him and said loudly, "A triple-form metallic life-form contract? Sword, armor, and golden wings?" Lak Hang, still arrogant, pointed his sword at Luk Vu. "That's right. Watch me dismantle your little trick." Luk Vu smiled, looking as calm as ever. "Your sense of justice isn't bad." As soon as he finished, his brows furrowed as he assessed the student. "It's a shame your brain doesn't work very well." Humiliated, Lak Hang flew into a rage. He swung his sword, ready to strike wildly. But before the blade could even touch a single hair on Luk Vu, it was already covered in cracks. Lak Hang's expression shifted. "What is this?" In moments, the sword shattered completely. Before Lak Hang could even react, he was thrown backward. He collapsed to the ground, asking himself, How could this be?" Looking at him, Luk Vu smirked. "Don't be in such a hurry. We're not finished yet. Take your time feeling the temperature of this purple flame." He drifted the flame toward Lak Hang ever so gently. In contrast, Lak Hang was panicking, his eyes fixed on the burning fire. Only when the flames truly flared up around him did Lak Hang realize he had completely lost. He cried out in panic, "No way!" He slammed his head against the ground multiple times. "Teacher Luk, spare me, I was wrong!" Immediately, Luk Vu retracted the flame. He said, "Don't worry, I'm the teacher, and you're the student." He smiled. "How could I be so ruthless?" Looking at Lak Hang, he was in a truly pathetic state. I was left in just his underwear, shivering uncontrollably. Damn it! Suddenly, his head spun violently, his eyes glazed over, and Lak Hang collapsed, completely unconscious. Seeing this, Luk Vu frowned and sighed. "You have to be kidding. Is an elite student of the Beast Taming University really this weak?" As an observer, Tu Bok was truly terrified. "Are you joking? Even a sun-radiant stage beast tamer might not be able to withstand that flame." Suddenly, An Vu appeared before Luk Vu unexpectedly. She asked, "Master, do you need me to help heal him?" Luk Vu replied, "No need. He won't die. Don't let it interrupt the class." The girl sighed. "Fine. He's pathetic, but he's also just too weak." Then Luk Vu asked the professor sitting up front to help. "Teacher, could you help take this student to the infirmary? I still need to continue the class." Being asked so suddenly, the professor grumbled inwardly, "Does this brat think I'm his servant?" After the impressive display of strength, Luk Vu asked the students again, "Are there any other classmates who feel I'm unqualified and want to try?" The entire auditorium was dead silent. "Success," he continued. "In that case, let's begin the lecture." Then, suddenly, Tu Teet from below raised her hand. "Wait, Teacher Luk. If your strength is that great, why choose to teach beast nurturing? You could completely teach beast taming combat instead." Others nodded in agreement. "That's right." Replying to them, Luk Vu smiled. "Combat is also built upon the foundation of having a strong, well-nurtured pet. Nurturing is the foundation of everything." Seeing everyone buzzing with excitement, Niam Niam looked a bit annoyed. "They were doubting the shopkeeper earlier, and now they're all mesmerized." Tuok Van smiled. "After today, I'm afraid many female students will have a crush on him, won't they?" In the hallway, it was very quiet. While inside the classroom, Luk Vu was passionate about his lecture. A while later, he spoke up, "We're almost out of time. In this final stretch, I'll invite 2 of you up to practice beast nurturing directly. Who wants to try? Raise your hand." A forest of hands shot up below. Everyone was filled with anticipation. Finally, 6 Vu picks 2 students, you, Tam Nim Nim, and you, Dun Huoc Van. Both of you, come up here. Hearing their names called, both girls beam with joy. But then, Tiu Tweet stands up in protest. Teacher 6, can't you pick someone else? Their Slim and Moonlight Leaf can't be nurtured any further unless the Beastmaster themselves breaks through to the extraordinary rank. Tubok joins in. That's right. Why don't you help nurture my pet instead? As Neem Neem and Nuok Van step up, 6 View steps forward to calm the crowd. Everyone calm down for a second. He asks them again. Do you all truly believe that Slim and the Moonlight Leaf have reached their limit? Exactly, Tutwet asserts firmly. Of course, everyone knows that a pet contracted by an awakening rank Beastmaster can only ever reach the awakening realm. Phase 10, that is. But then she hears 6 View refute it. You're wrong. The world of Beastmastering has infinite possibilities. The first thing you need to do is break the limits within your own mind. Just then, an unfamiliar voice rings out. A man speaks up. Well said. He wears a smile, agreeing with 6 View. I'm also very interested in this breaking limits concept that Teacher 6 speaks of. The entire auditorium buzzes with whispers. Seriously? Does Teacher 6 have that much pull? Even Principal Doan has arrived in person. The principal carries a box full of treasures, causing another stir in the crowd. Wait, why are all the resources in his hand only bronze rank? There's even quite a bit of black iron rank material. Tubok questions. Is Teacher 6 actually planning to use these low-level resources to nurture the pets? 6 View picks up a stone and explains to everyone. As you can see, these resources are the lowest black iron and bronze grades, but they happen to be the most suitable ones for Slim and the Moonlight Leaf at this very moment. After laying them out on the table, Hai invites the 2 students to perform a task. Nim Nim, Nuok Van, I need you to combine these 2 resources in the exact ratio I've instructed. Then, fuse them into your beast space before letting Slim and the Moonlight Leaf absorb them. Can you do it? The 2 girls are silent at first, but then agree. We can. A glow envelops them. They think to themselves, regardless, we should trust Teacher 6. Butterflies rise up, trailing brilliant sunlight. Tutiet stares in disbelief. She can't believe she's witnessing this. This is... Neem Neem and Nuok Van leave everyone stunned. A breakthrough to extraordinary phase 1. This is absolutely incredible. Tubok watches with his jaw dropped. No way, they actually broke through? Then such a simple nurturing method really achieved this level? Tutwit, who previously doubted their ability, now begins to waver. I've heard that the nurturers of the previous era could turn the rotten into the divine. Could Teacher 6 actually be a master nurturer? The principal watches on. He praises 6 View wholeheartedly. For thousands of years, the laws of the Beast Master field have been broken by him. This truly exceeds my imagination. Regarding the 2 pets that just broke through, 6 View has proven that nothing is impossible. He looks at his 2 students and says, as long as you nurture them with the right methods, not only can the pets break through, but the Beast Master can also strengthen their own abilities. The more they watch, the more amazed the students below become. This is just too miraculous. Even the principal falls into deep thought. Once my own beast space fully recovers, I will ask 6 View to help nurture my pets. Couldn't that allow me to reach the Overlord rank? Thanks to 6 View, Neem Neem has achieved this. She is incredibly excited. Thank you, shopkeeper. Not only did you help me break through, but you also taught me the refining method. 6 View winks at her. That's a secret. Neem Neem blushes. Meanwhile, Nuok Van smiles, looking at her pet after the breakthrough. 6 View observes and assesses. Your young worm has evolved into a Moonlight Leaf. This evolution form is excellent. He offers her praise. Nurture it well. I have high expectations for you. Encouraged, Nuok Van is overjoyed. I will. 6 View understands their problem. It's mainly because they are stuck at the awakening phase 10. As my customers, I really couldn't bear to just stand by and watch. He thinks to himself, if they just break through to the extraordinary rank within a year, they'll definitely get scholarships. Then they can return to the Mythical pet shop to sign a contract with a second pet. The more he thinks, the more he feels proud of himself. To hit the performance targets, I've put in so much effort. After this brilliant performance of the 2 students, 6 View ends the lecture. All right, class dismissed. After class, 6 View greets a few other teachers outside. Goodbye, Teacher 6. He smiles and replies, see you next time. He doesn't know that Duyet Phi is standing behind him, watching in silence. A con, standing next to her, has seen it all. He asks her with pity, "Duyet Phi, what's wrong? Do you like Teacher 6 that much?" He offers words of comfort from the bottom of his heart. I admit Teacher 6 is indeed outstanding, but precisely because he is so outstanding, he simply isn't someone you can have. Duyet Phi immediately retorts, looking annoyed. "What do you know? He used to be my boyfriend." Hearing this, anyone would be shocked, including Akon, ex-boyfriend. Duyet Phi, are you kidding me? Seeing that he doesn't believe her, Duyet Phi gets angry. "He really is my ex-boyfriend. Why don't you believe me?" Akon stops talking. He thinks she's really having some issues. "You're confused. I'll go to the infirmary to get some medicine for you. Wait for me here." Duyet Phi's expression holds a hint of sadness. She opens her phone and mutters, "It's you guys who are confused, not me." On her home screen are the people she has blocked. The blacklist includes 6 Vu, Lai Than, Ting Duong. Duyet Phi boldly does one thing. She sends a friend request. 6 Vu, I regret it. Can we go back to how we were before? After hitting send, she gave a satisfied smile, but reality slapped her right back in the face. Message could not be sent. User has blocked you. Desperate and helpless, she let out a piercing scream. 6 Vu! Why would you do this to me? At the infirmary right now. It's already past 3 in the afternoon. Lo Tuyet and Mo Dong are keeping watch by Lak Hang's bedside. Seeing his condition, she starts to wonder, what happened to you, classmate Lak? Did Hang provoke a brilliant sun-rank beast tamer? Mo Dong refuses to believe it. He knows it was a brilliant sun-rank beast, but how could a 10-stage star-tier beast tamer be the one to defeat Lak Hang? Yet facing that answer, she just can't accept it. No way, that's impossible. Although I can't identify the level of the residual flames, I can tell that classmate Lak Hang's injuries are extremely severe. He should have died on the spot. But his life is being forcibly sustained. This is Lo Tuyet, 23 years old, from the spirit family of the Sha Kingdom. She insists that those residual purple flames are still forcibly keeping classmate Lak Hang alive. The more Mo Dong hears, the more unbelievable it seems. No way. That guy, he was actually able to do this so easily? Anxiously, he asks, is classmate Lak Hang going to be okay? He comes from the Lak family in the south. If something happens to him, it will be very hard for the school to explain. Lo Tuyet sighs, showing a helpless expression. Of course he'll be fine. No sooner had she finished speaking than a spirit appeared right on her shoulder. Mo Dong is taken from one surprise to another. It's a spirit type, and not just any. It's from the spirit royal family, which naturally holds an extremely high status among spirit types. The spirit flies in front of Lak Hang, reaches out its hands, and begins to heal him. It is truly formidable power. Immediately after, Lak Hang opens his eyes, clutching his head. I can't remember anything for the moment. Teacher Mo Dong? Lo Tuyet? Why am I here? Mo Dong recounts the story, and then probes, you wanted to challenge the newly appointed instructor, and the result was that he released just one wisp of purple flame and completely suppressed you. Do you remember now? His memory returns. It was because of the challenge that he ended up in this state. As the direct heir of the Lak family, possessing an S-rank beast-taming talent, he had thought he was inferior only to Luke Hook of the dragon-taming family. He finally accepts it. Even so, Lak Hang still can't help but wonder, but why is the gap between me and Teacher Luke so vast? To enlighten him, Lo Tuyet says, above S-rank, there is SS rank, and even SSS rank talent. There is always someone better, and the sky has no limits. Hearing her, Lak Hang sighs. Teacher Luck is truly too strong. Hearing that name, Lo Tuyet suddenly looks thoughtful. She asks, wait, is that young newly appointed instructor named Luke Vu? Is he about 18 years old, and does he look a lot like Luke Hook? Mo Dong agrees. Now that you mention it, he really does look like Luke Hook. Lo Tuyet knows about them, and she begins to recount. When I was little, I heard the elders say that Luke Hook's cousin, Luke Vu, had an inherent defect in his original talent, so Luke Hook was directly chosen to be the young family head. Also, because of that defect, Luke Vu was treated unfairly. Then one day, Luke Vu vanished without a trace, suspected of being exiled from the Luke family. Regarding this, Lo Tuyet cannot take it lightly. He has actually returned, and his strength is even this formidable. I wonder what choice the Luke family will make now? She falls into deep thought. Acknowledge the mistake and recruit him, or eliminate him. The scene shifts to the men's dormitory. Inside the room, Tu Lam sits there, excitedly recounting. Professor Luke only needed to release a wisp of the falling flame to make Lak Hang suffer a total defeat. Hen beams, continuing. With his Star Tier 10th stage cultivation, he completely crushed the Cold Moon Tier 3rd stage. Tu Lam turns to ask, Brother Huck, are you really not planning to take a look? He continues to persuade, with your talent, you could absolutely take Teacher Luke's course and learn the heaven-defying method of nurturing pets. Luke Hook retorts, No. The only person worth me learning from would have to be Professor Taman. A young instructor like him isn't enough to make me put in the effort. He thinks to himself that the most important thing right now is to fuse his two S-rank talents. That way I can possess an SS-rank dragon-type talent, invincible in this world. Luke Hook opens his book, wondering to himself, but why do these two S-rank talents always have a subtle repulsion? The scene shifts to 15 years ago at the Luke family villa. Luke Vu pulls on Luke Hook. Hurry, let's go! Luke Hook, innocent at the time, says, Brother, run a little slower. The head of the Luke family stands there and speaks up. You've come at the right time. The results of your talent tests are ready. Luke Hook has awakened the S-rank beast control talent, Golden Dragon Shadow. Luke Vu has the S-rank talent, Divine Master Dragon Shadow. He smiles and continues, As long as you two cooperate, you will definitely lead the Luke family to become the leader of the 3 dragon-controlling families and seize more resources in the dragon world. While Luke Vu is happy, Luke Hook shows his displeasure. Why do you also have an S-rank talent? The young boy at that time swatted his brother's hand away and ran off with the thought, wouldn't it be better if only I were the one with S-rank talent? The scene shifts to the Luke family library. Luke Hook found an ancient book stating that dual S-rank dragon-type talents are considered the symbol of a legend. It is called the strongest SS-rank dragon-type talent. The young boy back then smiled maliciously. It's a good thing you aren't S-rank. That way, we will have the same slave-like status. Back in the present, Tu Lam asks curiously, Brother Huck, why are you staring off into space? Luke Hook laughs and says to Tu Lam, I sincerely advise you to choose Teacher Luke Vu's course. It will certainly have great benefits. Just hearing that name makes him extremely angry. He grabs Tu Lam tightly and shouts, What did you just call that teacher? Asking again while still gripping Tu Lam, What's his name? Hearing that, Tu Lam trembles and stammers, It's Luke Vu. Upon hearing the answer, Luke Hook quickly shoves him to the ground violently. He angrily thinks to himself, I never expected you to appear in front of me again, and you even became an instructor at Motto University. You're always like this. Always not saying a word, just standing above me like that. He laughs self-deprecatingly. I really can't take it anymore. I want to tear you to pieces. At this moment in the school hallway there is a large crowd. People are walking past. Luke Vu is talking with Lak Tien and Tuong Quoc. He says to him, Once my space is fully restored, I will definitely come to the shop again. The mythical pet trainer asked Master Six for help in nurturing his pet, and Six happily agreed to welcome visitors. Suddenly the 3 of them stopped. He wondered aloud why he had come here while his brother sneered. The visitor was none other than Six Hu, so Six Wu spoke up. Six Hu, it's been a long time. Seeing them greet each other like this left Lak Tien surprised. You two know each other? He replied, Know each other? We're not just acquainted, we're very close. Then he offered a wicked smile. So you finally came back. Hearing this, he replied, That's right. How have you been, little brother? But the brother replied bitterly, I truly don't understand how you still managed to awaken your talent. How could you still become a beast tamer? Six Wu just laughed. Is it that strange? Actually, I have a question I want to ask you personally. Hearing that, his face darkened. What question? He asked. Is your beast-taming talent convenient to use? Right after that, he snapped his fingers. A glowing circle instantly appeared beneath his feet. The light was so blinding that the brother had to shield his eyes. Then, Six Hu was teleported into a dimension. The moment he saw it, he realized this was his own beast-taming space. That made Six Hu panic. Trying to scare me with this? Don't even dream of it. Come out, where are you? He looked around to figure out what was happening. Suddenly, Six Wu appeared, grabbing him by the throat so violently that he could barely breathe. Six Hu turned red, struggling. This is uncomfortable, let me go. But Six Wu didn't let go, saying maliciously, My foolish little brother. You actually harbored the delusion that you could merge with my talent? It's laughable to the extreme. Being exposed like that made him furious. "Shut your mouth! Get out here, all of you!" Instantly, two dragons appeared behind him, roaring ferociously. Seizing the moment of distraction, he quickly wrenched himself free. But he was shoved aside by 6-Woo and fell to the ground. Yet, he didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled poisonously. "Now I can answer your previous question." He smirked triumphantly. "Your beast-taming talent is truly so convenient." Hearing that, he couldn't help but offer a mocking laugh. "Truly pathetic." That made 6-Woo furious. "I'm pathetic?" he asserted firmly. "I'll let you taste the power of the Golden Great Dragon." The Golden Great Dragon roared majestically, but 6-Woo wasn't afraid at all. On the contrary, he was excited. He conjured a small flame and asked, "Have you ever felt the wrath of heaven?" Hearing that, 6-Woo screamed in terror. "What?" Instantly, the Golden Great Dragon was engulfed by his flames, burning as it roared in pain. It couldn't resist the flames at all. Seeing that, the brother was baffled. "How is that possible?" It was only then that he realized in shock where the fire came from. This is the fire of the demon dragon breed." He smiled wickedly. "You thought you could beat me by borrowing the power of a great dragon?" After that, the demon dragon, with a belligerent glare, roared powerfully and lunged at the Golden Great Dragon. Seeing this, the Golden Dragon tried to flee, but the demon dragon chased it relentlessly, immediately raising its sharp claws to attack. One swipe hit the Golden Great Dragon, wounding it until it bled. The demon dragon bit into its wing, causing severe injury. Seeing this, 6-Woo trembled in fear, thinking, "How can this be? This is the mighty great dragon that the Six family paid a huge price to bring back from the dragon realm, yet 6-Woo suppresses it so easily." He was infuriated and refused to accept it. "On what basis? On what basis do you stand above me once again?" Suddenly, he realized something. "Wait." 6-Woo looked on in horror as he noticed the demon dragon consuming the other dragons. By now, the Golden Great Dragon had been defeated. It had lost its wings and could no longer fight. Seeing it collapse before his eyes, he screamed in terror, "No!" Then he turned and shouted at him, 6-Woo! This was the first beast I contracted. It's the friend who grew up with me since I was small. How could you do this to it?" He quickly tried to summon the Golden Great Dragon back into the beast-taming space, but the demon dragon wouldn't let it leave, quickly moving to block the way. Seeing that, he was completely terrified. But 6-Woo decided to spare him, saying, "Let it go." Only then did he quickly recall it, wondering why he didn't pursue him. Suddenly, 6-Woo stepped closer, calling out, "Little brother." He walked and talked. "I remember. Our relationship when we were young was very good. I even doted on you." Hearing that, 6-Woo replied, "That's true." Then he continued, "And then you conspired with Mother to steal my primal talent." Realizing the truth was out, he gritted his teeth, speechless. But he didn't stop there. He added, "You must be very confused, right? Why did I let you recall the Golden Great Dragon?" 6-Woo trembled and asked, "Why?" 6-Woo answered, "The reason is simple. The Golden Great Dragon is tied to your S-rank talent. If the Golden Great Dragon dies, your rank will drop." Then he pointed his hand toward his own dragon and said, "Do you know? If you hadn't stolen my talent, this divine great dragon was destined to be contracted by me. You were the Golden Dragon Shadow, destined to wage war, while I was the Divine Dragon Shadow, destined to protect. We could have joined forces to take the Six family to the highest peak." Hearing those words only made him more confused. "What exactly are you trying to say? Do you still want to pretend at this point? What brotherhood are you talking about?" Seeing that he had misunderstood his intent, he quickly spoke up to clarify, "No, you misunderstood me." He quickly explained, "I wanted to let you live a little longer, so you can taste the feeling of hope being ruthlessly trampled." 6-Woo quickly added, "In the near future, I'm going to strip you of all your talents and watch the Lu clan be completely destroyed. You'll have nothing left. Isn't it pointless to just demote you now?" Hearing this, he sneered, "You want to destroy the Lu clan? Do you even think you're worthy to say such a thing?" Being insulted like that didn't make him angry. It only made him triumphant. Pointing at the two dragons behind him, he said smugly, "Just based on this alone." The abyssal dragon swiftly grabbed the Golden Great Dragon, using its power to completely suppress the beast. The Golden Great Dragon was beaten until it fainted, losing so much blood that Lu Chu was infuriated. How dare you?" But Lu Yu just replied, "Relax, I'm not going to kill the Divine Great Dragon." After all, I once hoped to form a contract with it when I was young. He calmly added, "These dragon wings are just the world-ending abyssal dragon wanting a snack. Naturally, I won't let it be wronged." As he spoke, he suddenly cast a cold, sharp glance. "As for you," he then grabbed Lu Chu roughly and warned, "Watch closely. I am going to destroy the Lu clan." "How did you end up like a stray dog?" Lusa was shaking, choked and gasping for air. Stubborn to the end, he sputtered, "Lu Yu, don't get too arrogant. One day I will fuse the dragon shadow and cultivate the divine dragon species." Trembling with rage, he insisted, "I will make you kneel at my feet and regret the humiliation you've caused me." Hearing this, Lu Yu suddenly let go. Letting him fall to the ground, he said, "I gave you a chance, but..." With a dark expression, he added, "By the time you manage to achieve those things, your level will be so low that you won't even have the right to look up at me, would you?" Then, the beast domain began to shatter, and they returned to reality. Suddenly, someone appeared. A level 10, Radiant Sun tier blazing great dragon was released, and someone shouted, "Release the second young master." Seeing someone there to protect him, he smirked. The protector of the Lu. Up above, Yun recognized it as the level 10 Radiant Sun tier blazing great dragon. Nian Nan, seeing Lu Yu in danger, panicked. "I have to go down and help the shopkeeper." But Yun stopped her. "Calm down. If you go down there, you'll just be a burden. Right now, all we can do is trust the shopkeeper." Nian heard this and reluctantly accepted. Fine. Down below, Luza was smug because someone had come to protect him. "Lu Yu, this is the end for you. Your level and that abyssal dragon are ultimately only at the starburst tier." He laughed arrogantly at him. "Facing my level 10 Radiant Sun tier blazing great dragon, you have absolutely no hope of winning." Seeing that triumphant face, he just smiled back. "Is that so?" At this moment, Lu Xu pondered, "As long as I thoroughly deal with Lu Yu, I will still be the most dazzling genius in the magic capital beast taming university." Suddenly, he thought, "But why? Is there absolutely no fear in his eyes?" Then, Elder Khan stepped in front of the blazing great dragon and replied, "Young Master Lu Yu, long time no see." Seeing this, he said, "Elder Khan, do you intend to protect him?" The elder replied angrily, "I am the guardian of young Master Lu Chu. Protecting him is my duty." But Lu Yu laughed dismissively. "Is that so? Then you can leave now. Take this piece of trash, Lu Chu, and get back to the Lu clan." The elder wasn't pleased by that. "Young Master Lu Yu, you are no longer part of the Lu clan. Even though I still call you young master, I will not follow your orders." He replied, "True. After all, Lu Chu is the rightful heir of the Lu clan, right?" Elder Khan replied, "That is correct, if you, young master, Lu Yu, have awakened your beast, taming talent and formed a contract with a dragon species, then follow this old man back for a visit. Everything you did to young Master Lu Chu, the clan master will go easy on you. In the future, you can return to the Lu clan, and it will be a win-win." But Lu Yu reminded him, "Have you forgotten? Back then, I was the one who rode that blazing great dragon to the clan master's mansion, only to have my talent essence stolen." He looked utterly displeased, his face darkening. "And now you're pretending to be the good guy?" But the elder insisted, "Look at the results. Hasn't young Master Lu Yu awakened a new beast-taming talent? If the blood of the dragon race wasn't flowing in your body, how could you have awakened a dragon system talent? You should be grateful to the clan, really." But, hearing the most ridiculous thing he had ever heard, he sneered. "Grateful to the clan? I intended to settle the score with you people later." "All at once. But if you insist on dying, I am happy to oblige." Then he quickly drew his own blood to summon his power, which made the blazing great dragon grow more ferocious than ever. Seeing this, Elder Khan was shocked. "What is this? How can it stir up the dragon blood inside the blazing great dragon? I thought that if it swallowed that drop of blood, it would immediately break through to the monarch level and might even have the potential to transform into a legendary mythical dragon species." He thought while smiling smugly, "As long as it becomes a monarch level, I will be at the top of the Lu clan. My status will be almost on par with the clan master." Seeing the situation shifting in their favor, Lu Xu smirked. "Elder Khan, hurry up and kill him. My beast has sensed an opportunity to evolve into a mythical dragon species. The chance for our Lu clan to rise up is right now." Hearing that they wanted to eliminate him, Lu Yu laughed. It seems you really want this drop of true dragon origin blood, huh? Then come and take it. Immediately, the black dragon was summoned by him to fight. It quickly swallowed his blood source. Seeing that, the elder was not happy. Damn it! If that black dragon has swallowed the blood source, then let the blazing great dragon swallow it whole. Afterward, the blazing great dragon and the black dragon lunged at each other. The elder grew so frantic that his eyes turned blood red, obsessively imagining the moment when all that power will still belong to me. Hearing this, he was visibly delighted. That's right, Kanjia, hurry up and kill that magic dragon. Seeing the two of them daydreaming like that, you mocked them. You guys are really delusional, wanting to devour the body of the world-ending magic dragon. Shouldn't you ask for my opinion first? Hearing that, Kanjia laughed and said, Ask you? This black dragon is busy refining the drop of primordial blood. It has absolutely no strength left to fight. You have no way to resist anymore. Hearing this, you just calmly replied, Is that so? A mere giant dragon species wanting to devour a magic dragon? That really is turning the natural order upside down. Suddenly, the flame giant dragon let out a piercing roar. A massive sphere of immense power appeared, leaving him terrified as he asked, What is that? At that moment, a bird with vibrant feathers flew out from within. It quickly unleashed its power, lunging toward the flame giant dragon. The bird's energy swiftly enveloped the flame giant dragon, rendering it completely unable to fight back. That was devouring, and the power quickly swallowed the dragon flames. Seeing this, Kanjia grew anxious. The dragon flames are being swallowed by purple flames? How can this be? That's why he assumed the crimson dragon flame of the flame giant dragon was a platinum tier skill, and besides, aren't you a dragon tamer? Why do you also have a contract with a fire element bird? Seeing him so panicked, you then replied, When did I ever say I was a dragon tamer? You proudly declared, As for why I can swallow the flames, the reason is simple. You boasted, It's because your crimson dragon flame is just too low level. This left him utterly terrified as he blurted out, What? You then explained, It's not just the dragon flame. The flame giant dragon you've contracted with is also of a very low grade. Since you guys are so ignorant, I will be merciful and show you what a high-level beast taming really looks like. Emperor's domain. Chains. Under the Emperor's pressure, anyone with a status lower than an Emperor will be suppressed. Those crimson chains quickly surrounded the flame giant dragon, making it impossible for it to move any further.